Yo, it's
Yo, what
2022. I
up,
can
what
be
up,
good.
what up? And welcome back to P Noid News, man. Listen, all right, yo, look. I've been having a lot of like deep thoughts in my head today in general, right? AP hit me up last night and sent me some shit about the kids for cash thing. And like it's weird as I get older, these things bother me more, right? Maybe it's the fact that I'm getting softer because I got daughters now. You know what I mean? It's a very good possibility. Like I get, you know what I mean, I get emotionally invested in fucking commercials at this point. You know what I'm saying? When they're too cuddly and shit. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. Right. But like I was sitting here thinking about this and I was having a conversation with somebody the other day. I was talking about learning the basics, mastering the basics, right? That's, you know, I mean, that's kind of what it means to be a man is mastering the basics. And then like I was sitting here and I was like, I know I got to do a live stream today, right? And I mean, I was gonna do it earlier, but then I fell the fuck asleep because I was tired. I mean, I'm like been working my ass off and shit. It is what it is. So I decided, I'm like, you know what? It's 1 o'clock in the morning. AP shit should soon be done. You know what I mean? Like, oh, and we can sit here and bang out and handle my business. You know what I mean? Over here. So I brought my boy Mountain with me, Southern Girl. I sent out a couple extra invites and shit. Let me see if anybody else shows up. It's cool if you do, you do, you don't, you don't. But I wanted to have a conversation about what is a man and like what is a woman, right? Because like I
Absolutely.
think it does go deeper than biology.
Of
Like
course.
100%, right? So, yo, let me say what up to my motherfucking co-host tonight. Mountain, what up? How the fuck you doing, my brother?
Mhm.
What up, man? I'm good. I'm good. How's it
Good,
going?
good. You know me, man. You know me. Southern girl, how you living, shorty do wop?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I put the husband to bed. You know, I mean,
I got you. Got
did
some
all
dick.
that.
I got you.
Yeah.
Got some
So
dick
yeah,
down
I'm
your throat.
good.
Handle your
Thank
business.
you.
Anyway, right?
Yeah.
So now, right? We were having a conversation in the Discord, me and Southern Girl, about
Hmm.
motherfucking like sex and relationships and all these type of things, right? And
Hmm.
you know, and it got me thinking on a level of where like when we have these conversations, she said, well, you've only been with a girl, right? You've never been with a woman. And I think that's
Hmm.
really fucking like on some shit that where when we have these conversations about what is a man, right? Oh man, listen, hold up, my fucking shit's going on. Hang on, man,
Yeah.
I
There's
gotta
something
shut it.
echoing. Yeah.
Hang on, man. Yep, there we go. Sorry, I had a tab open in my joint, right?
Okay.
So like basically my premise is that like when we have these conversations about what is a man and what is a woman, there's men out here who are full grown, right? Who aren't men. You know what I'm saying? And there's women out here who are
Hmm.
full grown who aren't women,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And you know, I always say like when I see like the motherfucking bull dykes and shit, right? Like I see a bull dyke in a bar, I cut in front of them in line, you know what I'm saying? And like chin check them and fuck with them because like they haven't earned their stripes to be a guy yet, you know what I mean? Right? You can't pretend to be a dude without like fucking standing here like actually like earning your position as a man, as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
And that's not even really sexist. That's how it goes with all dudes in a pecking order, no matter where you at, even in the locker room and shit.
Hmm.
You know,
All
the
of us know
freshmen
dudes.
versus the juniors kind of. Yeah, there's always hazing of some level.
Well, not just that, not just that. So like when I used to stand here. Yeah, and listen, Jacob, I didn't know you put out a manifesto, bro. Like, yo, you got to send in your manifesto. Like, legit. Like, I want to see your manifesto. Yo, send it to me, bro. I want to see it. Right. Anyway, right. Fucking like, you know, I always love good manifestos, but let me keep this 100%.
Yeah, because I want to say something, but I don't
Probably
want to
shouldn't be
interrupt
writing
you. So
manifestos.
yeah,
Like
I want to
Know
legit.
say
people who
something,
write
but I
that
don't want to
shit?
interrupt you. So like when you want me to talk, I just want to say something real quick. But
Oh, you want to talk? Yo, say some shit. Go ahead.
I just want to say, like, and I appreciate and I respect, like, you're a man, you're coming from it from a man's perspective. But when you're like, oh, well, you're talking about men and women relationships. And I'm like, yeah, so I'm coming from a female's perspective as a woman. When I say, like,
Mhm.
there's girls and women, I've been both, right? Just like you've been a young male and you've been a man, right? So all I'm trying to say is, when I talk about there's girls and women, and you're like, oh, there's ride or die bitches. I'm like, yeah, but that's girls and there's women. All I'm saying is that I'm coming from it from a perspective of I was a young, I'm only 41. I'm just saying, like, that's still kind of young. I'm just saying, like, I remember my 20s. I remember how it was. So I'm just saying, like, I'm coming from it just like you have an authority so to speak, as a man from your
Mhm.
perspective. I'm trying to give you a perspective as a female who has been both, right? Just like you've been both, I've been both. So, that's what I'm trying to say.
All right, what's the difference
What's
Well, well,
Mhm.
what's the difference between what?
between when you were a girl and when you were a woman? What do you define as the basic characteristics that separate one from the
I
other?
decided to devote myself to a man and marry him and become a woman who actually wouldn't walk away. So, yeah.
Okay, I feel where you are. Let me address
Mhm.
Johnny Boy here real quick. Let me keep this 100%. 150 years ago, 200 years ago, actually, depending on what part of the world you were in and what culture you were in, right? What defined you as a man or woman, right, was literally a process. Like you had shit that like you went through. Like, like the Jewish people have bar mitzvah, fucking you have like the Native
Coming
Americans
of
have
age.
like
Coming of
yeah,
age.
yeah, like they actually have a process for coming of age,
Rites
right?
of passage.
Yeah. We don't have these anymore in the West, right? And we never really did because we were very, very egalitarian from like the very beginning of our culture, right? There was never really an actual process for fucking becoming a man. Like you didn't have like waypoints to hit as you went through, right? And so this shit that we talk about, right? And like certain parts of our culture does, like where Southern Girl lives, like men hand their guns to their sons, you know what I'm saying? Or like they hand over the farm to the son. They do these type of things where like there's a rite of passage of going like, you're now a man, right? And like the females kind of have their same thing where like the females have, like where they fucking stand here and like Mexicans go through their quinceanera or no, what the fuck's that shit called? The
Quinceanera. Yeah.
quinceanera. Yeah, fucking. I'm not.
Yeah.
I deal with Puerto
Consigliere.
Rican. Yeah, consigliere. I love the family consigliere, right? Yeah, we got our thing,
Quinceanera. Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, what I mean, that's kind of where the mentality gets down to is like, it used to be when you were a man, there were signifiers of such things, right? Like the Amish have, like, when a man becomes a man, you know what I'm saying? Like, he has to like start growing his fucking beard out and shit, right? And like, he has to like fucking take a wife and,
Well,
fucking become a fucking family man and shit and become a father.
and I'll say this. Let me just say this as a woman. Okay, what it is when I say I was a girl. Okay, I wouldn't take the guy I was dating. I wouldn't bring him around my mother. I wouldn't he wouldn't work with my father out in the yard. I wouldn't make him lunch and be like, hey, got you a glass of sweet tea. Come on in. Like it's a different relationship where if he works with my father side by side, now he's a man. Now I am a woman because I'm serving him in a role where he's acting like a man. It's not dating where he's like picking me up, and that's what I'm saying. It's different. I'm just saying it's different. So, yeah.
I feel where you are, right? But like, so, and different parts of the countries have different cultures as far as like what happens when you become an adult male, right? Like the main thing, across the nation is like you become 18, you're able to vote, join the army, fucking hold a real job, fucking leave high school, all these type of things, right? But like, there's deeper parts of our culture, right? Where like you're expected to start looking for a wife, you're expected to start like, building a life towards having a house, having kids, all these type of things, right? And depending on where you are, it changes as to how you act when you become a fucking man, right? And being a man, there's a lot of pieces to it that aren't just, like your fucking balls. That aren't just your dick. Like there's more to being a man than just having male anatomy.
Well, there's more to being a man now than just starting a family and having that relationship, because that's the question right now. So when it comes to, I got a lot on my mind right now. So when it comes to Gen Z, they've taken the early warning from the millennials, and they're like, yo, the system's busted. They're being led down a road to nowhere, and they fucking know it. As opposed to me, I bought all the shit and went along with the program, and then the sand shifted beneath my feet and it was no longer reality. So I had to deal with it mid-flow and kind of reinvent myself a bunch of times. I went through the divorce and the bullshit because all that's playing in the background. These kids have been able to witness it live, and they don't believe in this shit anymore. They're like, what's the point? You know, they're ready to buck the whole system. So you can still be a man. All right. So the other thing I want to say is when I back up and say, what's the difference between being a boy and a man? All right. It's the difference between one, serving someone other than yourself, and two, keeping your eye on the best long-term outcomes. A boy will go for pleasurable things, instant gratification, and live today, fuck tomorrow. And when you're a man, you say, okay, is this really the best use of this or that? You know, how do I plan for this? That's if you're responsible.
I don't know, man.
But that's the thing is how do they see that? And that's where like the different generations underneath me, like I'm not Gen X, but I'm like at the tail end of it, right? So I'm like, okay, well, they don't, when you say the system, the only system they see is whatever the government tells them, right? Because their parents are all fucked up. It's divorced. It's, you know, blended families, whatever. So they don't have a view of what that's supposed to look like. So they're like, oh, I want to be a man, but what the fuck does that mean? So they go to the government. Oh, you're 18, you're a man, right? So they're like, oh, I'm supposed to have this and that because I'm 18. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's not, they don't know what responsibility is. And that's very sad to me. But I don't know. I don't want to sound condescending, but
you're fine. You're fine. Go ahead, man. Like,
you see what I'm
this
saying?
This is the whole, this is the whole point, right? Like, literally, like, it was a very convoluted thing.
I just agree with what I agree with what you said. It's just like, okay, well, the system. All right, well, what's the system? What are they being
The system is GDP go up. So all of this stuff with divorce, court rape, and all that stuff, that's just collateral. That's just collateral damage, because the main objective is, you know, S&P and the Dow. They have to go up into the
capitalism.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not even capitalism. It's just the numbers have to grow. Capitalism is something else. What we have now is something else. The markets are rigged.
Well, corporatism.
You know.
Corporatism.
Right. So like, so
There you go.
here's my thing, right? So like, and this is why I bring this up, because like literally, like, fucking none of being a man where I come from is anything to do with any of these type of things. Right. Like literally you become a man when you're dangerous enough to threaten other men.
You can punch them in the fucking mouth and they respond.
Yeah, like when you really become a danger to other men, like, you're considered a fucking man where I come from.
And that's the soldier class.
Right? Like
that's
like
basic entry.
When you're 14 years old and like you go and you take a grown man and you beat him half to death in a fucking alleyway, like you are no longer a child at that point.
That's entry level manhood, but there's many different levels to manhood. So you can be a man without falling for the whole, you know, get a family and find your life way bullshit.
Or the Aztecs who had to fucking eat a goat's heart out.
No, I mean, it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be all brute force, but there is something to, I will tell you, because my husband has told me this, is there's something to, like, certain men will talk, and certain men talk and certain men just act. Okay. So acting in this world is you fucking punch them in the mouth. And so, yes, it doesn't mean you have to be all of that, but it means that is a certain threat that you pose. So you don't have to be all of that. It means that's a part of you that is a threat, I guess, is what I would say. When you say soldier class, that's what I think you're saying.
It's respect, it's fear.
It's a part of it.
Yeah, it's all a part of it, right?
It's not all of it, but
or like you become a big homie and you become a leader, right? Or like you start making money and like you're selling more drugs than everybody else. Right? Like, I mean, because all of these things harbor respect, right? And respect is a large part of being a dude.
Yeah, that's a part of it.
That's more street. So if you go to the suburbs, you can be more dangerous and therefore not have to fight. Because you can
but as a man, I mean, even if you're even if you're in the suburbs, there's going to come a point where someone, if you're just, and this is where actually, this might sound really hood, but I was watching some fucking videos today of just these white people just getting beat the fuck out of, right? It's like, they're just taking it. Like they're just taking it, and these people are coming in and they're just beating the fuck out of them. Okay,
I don't
so
know what that's kind of out of context. What do you mean? Like they're
no,
ordering
I mean,
pizza?
so if you're like, oh, I'm in the suburbs, so no one's gonna fight me. I'm fine. I can just talk my way out of it, and then no one's ever going to expect me to stand up in a fight, right? Is that what you're saying? Like as far as a suburb type environment,
It
or
depends on how imposing you are. Like, look, it's like the old saying, power is the ultimate authority from which all other authority is derived. So I personally don't have to scuffle because.
Do you think it'll never come to a scuffle ever in your life?
I think the problem is that there's a lot more unhinged people. So I'm not necessarily dealing with a rational person that's just having a
Are they
bad day.
never going to come for you though? Is what I'm saying. You think they're never going to come?
Florida man,
I'm ready.
Florida man want to throw something in. What do you want, throw, brother?
No, I was gonna say just be prepared for fight. I grew up in the suburbs, but I wasn't fucking stupid. My next door neighbor, she I think had like an ex-boyfriend break in her house, beat the fuck out of her. No, I didn't hear anything that night, but I wish I could have done something, and I would have. Right. There's other times where I go, well, I bring a knife, and there's other guys talk to me in the middle of the night. I'm like, all right, here we go. I might have to get in the fight. I better put on my fist.
That's just simping. I look at that situation now and I say, what did that fucking woman do to that poor man to make him so angry?
No, dude. What did
there were times I was like, all right, this could be it. I'm gonna have to get in a fight. Let's go. I wasn't stupid. Like, no, I'll talk my way out of it. There's no talking your way out of crazy people or people that want to fuck you up.
Sometimes you got to pull the gun out and wave it around. Like it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Well,
I had to do that like 2 weeks ago when I stole that motherfucking sister wife. You know what I mean? I had to pull the gun out and motherfucking wave it out. Like it is what it is. Yeah.
Fuck.
Right?
Hilarious sounding. I'm sorry.
I feel you. It was funny as shit. It was the most banana. It was one of the most banana times.
I thought you had a brother or husband.
Right? So like, all of her family showed up at my house. There's like 12 people on my porch. You know what I mean? Dude tried to rip me out the motherfucking door. I was like, hang on, I'll be right back. Right? We got my fucking 12 gates. I'm like, all right, son.
What kind of shit are you starting? What kind of shit are you starting over here? What is going on?
Like, he's got a big gorilla dick is what he does.
Exactly. What are you starting over here? Like, what is going on?
Yeah,
no, I'm just saying,
and again, so the point is, right, is like being a man, like, it comes in a lot of different shapes and forms, right?
Sure.
And there's a lot of ways to get there. And I was talking to this female, I was like, look, mastering the basics in life, right, and is something that a man should strive to do, right, as a whole, right? Just because he's a fucking man, he should know the basics. Like GQ had this really, really good article at one point.
So define the basics, right? So define the vocabulary. What do you mean by the basics? I guess.
Right. So like the basics of life. You should know how to tie a tie, right? You should know how to and do it properly, right? You should know how to like dress properly. You should know how to stand here and like clean your fucking gun properly. You should know how to sit here and like fucking change a tire, change your oil. You should know how to like fucking fix a wall outlet. You should know how to chop a piece of fucking wood. Like you should know, like there's some very simple fucking things that you should master the basics of.
How to ride a bike, how to use a chainsaw.
Anything you do, you should motherfucking know how to do like the very basic level of it the whole way.
You should be able to take care of yourself as a whole.
Yeah, like I played basketball when I was a kid. I spent 7 months literally just taking a basketball and dribbling up and down my fucking street, putting it between my legs, just learning the fucking basics.
That's self-competence. Right? That's self-confidence. You were teaching yourself. That had nothing to do with the basketball, though, right? You see where that? Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's a man thing, right? It's literally just a man thing, right? And you're doing it not to be better than other people, right? But just so you're good at something.
Yes.
Right. And as a man, like these are important things that you have to like learn how to do. Like you have to do these things just to become a man. Right. You have to learn how to like master the basics of life, how to like fucking cook a basic meal. Right. Like how to fucking stand here and fold your fucking laundry. It's just very basic things you should know how to do. And like there's a whole list of shit. Right. But it's a cultural thing. Right. It really is. Right. You know what I mean? It really is. It's a culture thing. And it depends on what culture you're in and where you are as to what you're going to know, what you're going to need to know. And at what point, you know what I'm saying, you're going to be okay to be able to, like, in general, compete with the other individuals around you. Right. And so these are the very fundamental, basic things about being a man that I think we miss quite often because we're not raising men anymore. Right. We're raising these hybrids.
So you said something very important there, which was to compete, right? So men have to compete. That's the one thing. Like being able to tie a tie, being able to do like 3/4 of what you just mentioned doesn't really correspond to being able to survive in today's diverse America. So I'm just saying, like, the one thing I liked that you said was being able to compete. So what does it take to compete in this society today? Because men who are 20 and y'all, I don't know what y'all are going through, but for y'all to compete, what the fuck that means versus what we were raised to think it means are two totally different things. Okay. So that's all I'm saying.
Well, no. So competition is not like, you're going out here trying to win, but very simply put, you're joining the job market, right? And you want to be able to, like go in and do any type of motherfucking basic labor, right? Whether it be McDonald's or working on a dock or whatever the case might be. Like, you're going to have a fundamental understanding of, like, just how to conduct yourself as a fucking person and as a man, as a individual in a social environment, how to stand here and listen and take orders, how to just not give up halfway through, right?
Like the young men, like Mountain, how old are you?
48.
Okay. Well, damn it, you're older than me. All right, Florida man, how old are you?
29.
All right, so you're younger. I'm just saying, like, the younger men, I don't know how to relate to them because I'm like, all right, well, I know what it means to, like,
Well, for us younger men, we were raised by angry single moms, and so there you go.
Holy fuck! So yeah, you're just like, what the?
I had to try to be responsible just on my own through time. It's not the same anymore. Like you older folks.
Yeah. I don't think you're wrong.
Think of it this way. Back when I was in middle school, we had the principal talk to everyone in the cafeteria. They would straight up say, if you defend yourself in a fight, and we know your parents told you to do that, but we'll suspend you or expel you if you do. So, yeah, that's just how our life was.
And at that point, I'd look at my homie and ask him to punch me in the face so we could both get expelled and go home for the day. Right. Like, I don't want to be here.
It's so conflicted,
is that easy to leave? All I got to do is get in the fucking.
So conflicted. Yeah. That's why it's so conflicted. Like, I see it. Like, it used to be like, meet me out back by the gym, and teachers would turn the other way. Like, now we're asked to, like, be like school marms, and we're asked to just watch over, and like, you're not allowed to, so that's why I'm like, okay, well, we say it means men being responsible. Okay, so
that's another one of those basic skills too, is throwing a punch, right? That's another one of those mastering the basics of skills. Like, legit, like, I have a heavy bag, right? And when I first got my heavy bag, I've had it for 2 years now. All I did for 6 months was throw a left hand, just a left jab. That's it, right? Just so that left jab felt fucking comfortable. Right. You know what I'm saying? And like, that's mastering the basics. Like, just, this is what it takes, is to master the basics of any fucking skill, is to learn how to, like, do these type of things. And as a dude, as a man, as a human being in any society, I don't give a fuck where you are, you should know how to throw a punch. Legit.
Hey, I do martial arts. I can throw kicks too.
I feel you. I
knocked the guy down with just a fast ass kick. Everyone was like, "Holy shit, you actually did that!" Like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I kicked a nigga in the chest and dumped him out. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you can duff motherfucker out with a kick quick. You know what I mean? Like, well, it's not that difficult to do. Legit, step right through the motherfucker. But like, this is kind of the thing, right? And so, like, being a man and when you're looking around, you look at other men, right? And like, you can go, well, yeah, that's a man. You know what I'm saying? But like, there's this mentality of fire out. My nigga Fire Out's here. Good shit, man. Fucking bless that motherfucker. Right? I invited them because like Fire Out. You're good, man. You're good. I know whether or not you can be up to the point. Right?
Well, like, yeah, no, I am.
Yeah, we're having a conversation about like, what is a man, what is a woman, right? And looking at it from like
interesting conversation.
I I feel you,
Okay.
right? But we're looking at it from a cultural aspect, right? Because like there's more than just genetics to it.
Of course, obviously, the basic principle of what makes a man and a woman under the basis of like the modern lens is idea of like, is it either genetic, like through biology, such as like sex, which is like the basis of like biology and genetics, and then is it the basis of gender, right? So I guess we could easily say that under the basis of those two parallels, can we identify sex as gender or vice versa?
Yes.
Right. So like here's my thing, right? So when I started this off, you know, I mean, I told my father, I said, look, every time I see bull dykes at like a fucking bar, you know, what I mean, I cut them at line, right? You know what I mean, and chin check them and shit, tell them what the fuck they're gonna do, right? Because like as a dude, there's more to being a man than just like dressing the part and like, you know, I mean, getting some fucking hormones, right? There's
of
more
course.
than the anatomy question. You know what
Well,
I mean?
it's a physical thing.
You're a Native American, right?
Yes, I am Native.
So, like, what are you, Cherokee or some shit? I'm assuming from
Choctaw.
Choctaw. Okay, I'm sorry. You told me that before. I forgot.
Yeah.
So, like, do you guys have like any ceremonies for your males, like, to become a man?
When do you get
Not in particular that I'm aware of, but it would be not as bold to assume that there might be. I know that there's one for adulthood, but I don't necessarily believe that there's one for
coming of age. Is there like a coming of age?
I believe so, yes. Most tribes do, and I would believe the Choctaw tribe does as well. Yeah. However, I would more or less associate a sport to this notion of physicality with men. There's a sport that is predominantly derived and accepted, at least within the United States, to be the basis of what makes lacrosse, called stickball. Now, if you haven't heard of this sport is heavily, like a heavy physical sport.
Physical,
it is utilizing similar instruments that are commonly associated within lacrosse, but it's also basically just football on top of it. It's a very rough sport, and mostly men play the sport.
Right. So I mean, like, so when we're having a conversation about what is a man, like what is a woman, right? Because like earlier, me and Southern Girl were talking about relationships and sex and shit in the Discord, and like she was like, "Oh man, you're used to dealing with girls, right?" And I'm like, I feel like there's a cultural difference, right? Like between where you live down south and where I live, and right, like the expectations of what, you know, I mean, like a female's supposed to be here as opposed to what a female's supposed to be there.
Well, I think the interesting correlation with culture and like gender and the aspect of cultural influence within that lens, right, is very, very interesting, because we're really the only, like, Western culture is really the only formal culture that identifies that there is no real genetic or even cultural differences between the two, right? Between men and women, right? Most cultures around the world, though, do derive differences. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, even Native Americans to a degree identified the predominant aspects between a man and a woman, as women in most Native tribes were basically just like they were heavily involved in the decisions of the tribe, yes, but they were held to a higher standard.
Yeah, we do down here. We clearly differentiate between male and female down here. So yeah, I would say that's very similar, because
of course,
yeah, that's why.
But but I've noticed that other cultures have, put or started to like kind of blur the lens between the two. That men, that anything a woman could do, a man could do, and we see this especially in Sweden and Finland, where they have sports, where they have MMA practices that are actually bi-gendered. It is a unisex UFC-esque league, and it's genuinely a concerning thing to watch, because I watch as a bunch of women who are like proclaimed fighters are versing like both average amateur fighters and advanced UFC male fighters, and the majority of the women that compete do not hold their own all that well. And it does beg a question: can we really say? I mean, I understand like the whole cultural lens, right? But is it really safe to assume that women can be culturally similar if they are genetically different?
Yep. Have at it. See where it gets you. I'm all for it.
No, we don't.
Here's where
That's what I'm saying. We don't see it that way at all. Like, it's maybe okay. I
Well, you
understand
do
the
though.
West and the propaganda, like the media and all that tries to paint that
Oh,
lens.
it's more than propaganda. This is a reality.
No, if you come
Um,
down to where I live, okay, you will
I'm
not
in
see
Texas.
that.
I'm in
Okay, I'm
Texas.
in
I was born and raised in
Georgia.
Oklahoma. I was
Okay,
born and
I
raised in Oklahoma,
understand.
so I totally understand where you're coming from. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that those places are being skewed in such a way to where they're being labeled as old school, right? They're being labeled as obsolete, the old way, and this is basically due to part because of the like negative connotation with like race and gender in those states. And this is nothing against the state of Georgia. Obviously, Georgia has a very interesting cultural precedence within the United States, having been formerly a Confederate state, now having one of the largest black populations within Atlanta in the United States. So it's not like to say that culturally speaking, Atlanta or Georgia is the same that it was back in the day, but the assumption that is boldly accepted throughout the world is that Georgia is like this southern hick state, and I find that is the same logic with places like Alabama and Oklahoma, especially even Texas for some aspects. And we got to remember that these states are being labeled as old school and untraditional and sexist and racist because of the basis of not accepting what is predominantly being thrown out as normalized within Western culture. I did obviously bring up something that was in Finland, but the U.S. soccer team, women's U.S. soccer team, has been deriving that the notion between men's and women's soccer are not different. Same thing with women's in the NBA. Like this is a topic that does hold merit because of the heavy anticipus on the idea of like how women can be to a very physical degree comparable to men, and I just don't see that as a comparable aspect whatsoever. I don't see Brittany Griner competing against LeBron James. I don't see freaking see a woman, a famous woman swimmer like what's name a woman in the Olympics.
Like Sierra, like what's her name?
I'll allow it.
Fucking Serena Williams, like fucking trying to compete against like Andre Agassi and shit, right? They just don't. They can't compete. By the way, everybody in chat, make sure you go over to Twitch and sub the Gaming and Yelling. While you're over Twitch, drop me a sub. I'm over there subbing. I'm over there fucking streaming right now. You know what I'm saying? Legit. Like, make sure y'all motherfucking drop me a sub. Check the motherfucking shit out over there. You know what I mean? Because like when we do shit on YouTube and when we do the streams, we do them over on Twitch as well. Right, until like we get kicked off, you know what I mean? We'll see how the fuck this works out. I want to make sure everybody knows it. You know, we're trying to promote my brother over here and shit, right? So like, anyway, like the mentality that like a man and a woman is nothing more than like a biological sense, right?
Of course,
I don't like that, right? Because like there's more to it, right? And I think that we should be gatekeeping for like males and females, you know what I'm saying? Like females should be gatekeeping for like womanhood, and like males should be gatekeeping for being men, right? And depending on your cultural aspect, like where you come from and who you are, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but this doesn't this topic hold very like similar lens to the whole like transgender argument? Can we really say like Leah Thomas, for example, is a big reason why we're having this discussion to begin with? I would assume that this is probably like when we're talking about the basis of men and women, especially when it comes down to like gender-based segregation, and I know segregation is a bold word to use, Leah Thomas is the first example. Well, of course, but Leah Thomas is the first thing we discuss, or William Thomas as he. Yes, I'm going to derive him as he. I'm sorry if anyone in your chat takes offense to this, but Leah Thomas is not a woman, and I will explain on the basis of why I think this and why.
Obviously, you don't know what a female penis is, bigot.
God damn it. No, it's like let's first consider a few factors on the basis of like why the whole transgender argument is kind of leading to this obscure idea of gender, right? The idea that that gender is basically an identifier, it's a social construct. This is an argument I hear pretty frequently, and I guess the first thing that we need to understand is that why are we utilizing the derivative of male and female in a social setting? Well, first off, there are visible differences between the two. That is the first thing. But secondly, it's what men and women are predominantly like capable of doing, right? One of the things that we need to understand is that men are not capable of having a kid. They're not capable of impregnation, or they're capable of impregnating a woman, but not being pregnant themselves. Now, I understand that people will probably bring up the examples of those men. Those men that get pregnant, but they're not men. They're formerly female.
This should not even be a
That's
fucking
crazy
argument.
town.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it should not even be something we have to talk about. I'm sorry.
That's how bad
like,
society's fallen.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
If
If you're living in reality, then you understand. Like, this is not reality. We know.
But that's the problem, right? We are seeing this become a reality.
I don't care what I'm
saying. Take a step back, because you'll never define how to be a man when you can't even agree what a man is.
But like, hang on a minute. Wait a minute, because here's my problem when I come down to this argument, because I like to be honest about all things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I have an issue with these type of arguments, because like when they asked that Supreme Court justice to like define a motherfucking man and a woman, and she was like, I ain't fucking touching that motherfucker with a stick, right? And I understand that mentality, and I'm gonna tell you why I understand that mentality. It's for the same reason that when Southern girls sat here and said, like, you don't date women, you're dating girls, right? Even though like they're fucking, like 30-year-old, 33, 35, 36 year old
they're still girls. Yeah.
Right. And this is my mental, right?
Of course.
Because like, so when we have these conversations, it's about what is your culture, right? What is your motherfucking, like, your idea of what a fucking person's supposed to be.
What a female is. Yeah. And you don't understand
like,
I think you have a very legit position as far as what a male is, and to your culture, and I can hear all these different male perspectives, but as far as a female, I can just tell you, I'm at the age where I've been a woman for 20 years now. I've been with my husband for 20 years. So, all right.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I know. It's great. But what I'm saying is in my culture, what a girl versus a woman are two different things. You can be however old. You can be a 45-year-old girl. We've seen them on the internet, right? Being a fucking, like, out there. Sorry, my language. Sorry, but out there, like, beating. Out there in the streets.
You know how the hell this fucking works. Like, legit, like, we curse all the time.
I know, but I'm just
look. If YouTube takes us off air, it's because we're good people. That's all we're gonna say.
YouTube stops paying attention after 5 minutes.
But what I'm trying to say is it doesn't matter how old you are. Like you were saying, there's a difference between how old you are versus a girl and a woman. So as a woman, I was a girl. Even though I was 22 years old, I was a girl. It doesn't matter what society told me when I was 18. Oh, you're an adult. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, but that's the funny thing about the difference between a man and a woman, right? A woman is given the parameter of a woman when they have the emotional maturity to remain in a stable relationship, right? A man only becomes a man. Yeah, and a man only becomes a man when they are of age to identify themselves as an adult.
I think that's unfair.
Well, no, because there's like a lot of dudes out here who females go, he's not a man, that's a fucking boy. Like, I've heard these conversations, like I've had these arguments with fucking retarded ass old bitches, right? They're like, you're not a man, right? And I'm like, hang on a minute, right? Wait.
No, of course, but I think this is heavily implicit of like. Isn't this heavily like implicit?
That's something else.
These are just dumb women.
Those are old post-wall broads trying to shame me into doing their bit. All right, let me back up for a minute.
I feel you, right? But here's let's get these identifiers right. You know what I'm saying? Because Southern girls, like, I was 22, I wasn't a woman.
No.
Well, hang on, wait a minute. I was 17 with a baby.
But that's an age. That's an age.
I was 17 with a baby, 2 cars.
Okay, but I could have had a baby when I was 17.
That made you a man.
It doesn't mean that she would be identified as a woman. Yes, that's right. I mean,
I would see myself as a woman. I wouldn't see myself that way just because I did something. I was
no.
And see,
here's my thing. Wait, and see, here's my thing. Right? Here's my thing. So, like, if you're 17 and you have a child, right, I'm going to treat you as a woman. I'm not going to treat you as a child.
Well, you shouldn't anticipate no. Well, you should be treated.
No.
I think there's a difference between treating someone like a queen versus
Wait.
someone like
Oh,
a woman.
fuck a queen.
No.
Nobody's
Fuck,
a
fuck
queen.
that queen shit.
Fuck
No,
a
fuck that
queen.
queen
But
shit.
yeah.
Dead that ideology. Here's the idea, right? So, like,
Mhm.
if you want someone to be an adult and be a woman and be a mom, you're gonna have to fucking treat them as such.
Okay, well, being a birthing, okay, I hate this fucking term, but being a birthing individual, somebody who can actually have a kid, and being a woman are two totally different things.
No,
all
they're
right?
not.
This
No,
guy
they're
gets
not.
it.
Are you
No,
talking
they
about
are.
responsibility?
Yeah. Just because you had one doesn't mean you are seen automatically. Oh, hey, guess what? I popped a fucking baby out. Now all of a sudden I should be treated like I'm something great. No, that's not how it works.
No. You should be treated as a woman, though.
No.
Just like, no.
He's not saying
Yes.
great. He's saying you're an adult now. I'm gonna
Well,
you don't get to fuck
okay.
around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Our terms have to be defined. That's what I'm saying. We have to
Right, like-
define vocabulary, and then we can work up from there. But yeah,
Right, just like as dudes, right? Like as a dude, if you have a baby, you know what I'm
yes,
saying, at a
men
young
see
age,
it
right?
differently. Yeah.
You cannot, like, all right, so here's my thing, and a lot of and this
Mhm.
is where things get really fucked up, right? Because, like, so me at 18 with my son, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I'm working my ass off, I'm doing what I gotta do, I'm paying the fucking bills, I got cars, I got a wife, you know what I'm saying? I'm handling what I have to handle and shit, right? Now, the thing is that in order to be able to become the father I'm supposed to be, or be the father I am, right? You have to treat me as a man now, right?
I-
'Cause that responsibility forces me to be so. Whether
Well-
or not that, like, anybody feels that way, I don't give a fuck. And this is
Well,
my problem with this idea. Go ahead, Fire.
Well, I find it really funny because, like, we're identifying cultural norms of what a woman is on the basis of a Western standard. Let's also acknowledge here that there is a very big difference within different cultures. African tribes usually identify a woman as a person of emotional age or emotional maturity. That could be as young as 12 and as old as 20, right?
Yep.
And native tribes are very similar. And native tribes in the United States are like older native tribes. Like, we're talking about like pre-colonial native tribes were very similar. Like, we got to understand, like, there's a difference between the Western standards of like what a woman is versus a more traditional tribalistic standard. Hell, even in China, they have a different idea of what a woman is. That a woman is more, I guess we could put it,
More responsibility.
feminine.
Yeah.
Yeah, more responsibility. And this is where I think the whole issue of, like, what is a woman type topic gets really vague, and it does become a point of contention, right? I think, yeah, no.
All I'm gonna say is, when I say woman versus girl, what I'm saying is when you reach an age, and this can be 17 sometimes, when you reach an age where you go, you know what, mom and daddy, this is the man I want you to accept, and you start bringing him around your parents, and you're like, hey, I'm gonna cook for you, I'm gonna do this for you. It's a difference. You become a woman because you take on responsibility. So yes,
Well, of course, it's the same thing with men, right? Men that take on responsibilities and understanding, like,
I think
like
it's
their weight on the world. Like, I think that men are truly only men when they acknowledge that they are not going to they're going to have to sacrifice in their life, right? Like, I think boys are people who acknowledge that life is a thing, but don't actually acknowledge that don't acknowledge, like, the sacrifices and the risk that they're going to have to take to truly fit into society.
Well, like, and here's part of this where, like, and I mean, like, I get into it, and I talked about this earlier. You missed it, Fire, but I guess you caught up. Not a big deal, right? Basically, I said, look, when we were coming up in my neighborhood, you became a man when you became dangerous enough to, like, threaten grown men, right?
Of course,
Like,
it was a responsibility.
Like, the moment you stood there and took a grown man out back and beat the brakes off of him, you're now a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole dynamic shifts. Or, like, yo, if you do it to your dad, right? Another one, like, yo, your dad tries to chin check you and you chin check him, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole dynamic changes. Now, this is no longer a conversation between a man and a boy. This is a conversation between two men. You know what I mean? Because, like, you're fucking both dangerous to each other. So the dynamic has to change.
And even in a more formal setting, right? Like, the ability to make a grown man cry is another thing. I would say that is an implicit nature of you being a man. If you are able to make an old man cry, then I would say you are also a man in that same respect. But that's beside the point. Continue.
Right.
Because if you're making an old man cry, then there's a reason for it. And who wants to make an old man cry? You know what I mean? So if you're doing that,
I've made my father cry on an
I know,
occasion.
but an old man, like who
Well,
wants to do that?
Yeah,
Well,
well,
Who
my
wants to
dad
do
is
that?
in his 50s, so.
let me
That's
put this way, right? So, like, my pops came over to my house, right, to where my mom lived. He didn't live there. He lived with his wife and his fucking my two half brothers, right? Love them to death. Nothing to hold against them. Fucking, they're my little brothers, and I die for them, and I have before. But like, my dad came over to my house, and he's fucking hammered drunk, coked out of his mind. He falls out of his fucking truck, and he's laying there, and it's pouring fucking rain, just storming, like one of them old school PA fucking joints, right? Up these Appalachian rains, you know what I'm saying? Like that fucking, like, you hear it on the fucking rooftop, and you think like fucking, like, the shit collapse. Anyway, so like, he's laying there, mouth open, filling up with water, and I go outside and I pick him up, put him over my shoulders, I carry him in the fucking house, right? And my dad stands up and he looks at me after I put him on the couch, and he's like, "Oh, you know, you think you better than me now, boy," right? And he fucking pushes me, and I drill him. I break 3 of his ribs, and he sits back down. Right? Dynamic changed between me and my father that day. You know what I'm saying? Like, the dynamic just straight changed about who we were as men, because like, it had to. You know what I mean? That's part of life, that you end up having to go, like, I'm going to be the man in this relationship from now on. And it's always been that way after that. It's been me taking care of him, not him taking care of me.
Now go get your fucking shine box.
Get your fucking shine box, you motherfucker, you. Right? Anyway, right? You know, and so like, this is kind of like where these dynamics come from, because like, being a man's a complicated thing. But when I had my first son, like, nobody wanted to treat me as the man that I was trying to be, until my son was old enough to where my son started stealing from the individuals who sheltered and coddled him. And he didn't steal from me. And they go, "Tommy, we should have listened to you." And I go, "Yes, you should have." Right? And you should have fucking shown me the respect I was due as a father back then. This is what I'm talking about. How, well, like, if you don't respect the mother who has a baby, whether or not you feel she's old enough, you don't respect the father who has a baby, whether or not you feel he's old enough, and treat them as men and women, and treat them the way that they should be treated, as part of a motherfucking family community, part of some shit. Make them build together, help them build together, love them, give them their motherfucking respect and their authority that they need. You're gonna fuck everything to fuck up long term.
All right, I got a lot going on here. Ready? All right. So first of all, there's a little vocab to just kind of clarify here. There's when you say treat them, it's more just to be pedantic. It's more like, give them the benefit of the doubt. Don't just assume that they don't deserve to be treated as equals just because they're young. So there's that. And there's one thing, there's a difference between, you know, getting respect from others and then defining what it is to be a man personally and introspectively. You know, how do you define it? How do you carry yourself? What do you bring? You know, what do you put out in life and around you? Like, do you just go around making people nervous and that's being a man? All right, well, I guess. But do you make people's lives better? Do you do shit? Do you plan for other people? Like, you know, are you productive? And it depends on your insights. Because you could look, dude, just looking at me, you don't know how to judge me. Like, you're like, oh man, this guy's gonna fucking hack me with an axe. Look at him. It's a fucking animal. Yeah. And then, you know, I might just change your tire or fucking, you know, do some shit. Help you with your groceries. Like, I'm not an animal. I look like an animal. I'm not an animal. I'm a nice guy. And then, you know, I mean, little guys don't get respect.
I'm going to rob you. And then you see my daughters run out from behind me and I go, "Come on, monkeys." Right. And they go, "Oh, he's a dad." Right. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So there's a thing that we do. We just look and we make assumptions. Right.
Yeah. But I think it goes down to I think it kind of becomes one of those things, right? Like, it's assumptionist or it's assumptionary, right? But on the basis of, by the logic there be, you are still being identified as a male threat, right? It doesn't matter. You're not being identified as a woman, right? You're being identified as a man or a male threat, right?
Yeah, bro.
So
I
guess
put
that
on a dress and people will be like, "Dude, that guy's coming to kill me."
But again, that's the thing, right? We're in a weird period of time where the line has gotten so blurred that people that look masculine and look feminine can be identified as the opposite, and it becomes one of those things where it's like what we have utilized for millennia to identify what a male and female were have now become derivative of this this blurred line between some weird gender.
No matter what we're called by, no matter what we're told by society to call what we see, there is a genetic basis. When we see something, we know what it is. Okay, we know what it is. So I don't care
of course
what the fuck that tells us it's supposed to be. We will always act on what is biologically telling us. So it might be that that's Jill. All right, that society like he's got some fucking lipstick and whatever. But no, we're gonna see him. We're gonna see it to him, right? So I see what you're saying. Like, oh no, and maybe men feel differently. That's why I like talking to y'all, because I don't know how y'all feel. But
I want to tell you, Jacob, I appreciate you being here, my brother. Legit, you know what I'm saying? But like, my mental is this, right? So like, the egalitarian nature of Western civilization as a whole, that's been driven by egalitarianism for a long time. It comes out of Germany and fucking Norway and shit. This nature of having more equality and less lines between males and females and their roles in society it goes back a long ways, to at least like the 12th, 11th, 12th.
It goes back to 900 B or AD easily. The Vikings were the first implicit country that was implementing the blurred line between male and female. Like we see this through a lot of like older cultures. I mean, the Egyptians had a pharaoh queen. Right, queen that identified as a king.
There's always been like female leaders, but it usually comes through hereditary. It doesn't come through like them like earning the position, right? It's
of course,
like,
but that's the thing, right? The basis still though is like this, right? These women of influence, as I would put them, had garnered that respect through their actions, not through just demanding it.
No, not at all, right? So like, it's literally like, so basically the royal line of succession was honored, right? And so therefore, like, they became honored through the royal line of motherfucking succession.
Yeah, they fuck somebody. Right? Okay, I'm sorry to say it that way, but they got
spit out, or they got spit out from somebody who, you know what I'm saying, did fuck somebody, right?
Okay.
And so like their power was derived from other people's power before them, right? It wasn't like they created their own fucking empire.
Yeah, but again, it's like the princes before them, or before the kings, or after the kings, right? They still have to divide. They still have to make their own name for themselves.
No, they don't. Look at Nero and Caligula, son.
Women are not made for leadership. All right, they're made to make. I'm a woman. I can tell you, we're not made for that shit.
I think women are decent with logistics, though. I think they have a general understanding of it.
I think that's where they fail. But like, fucking queens are fine as being like queens. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking, if the king dies and the queen has to run away and fucking hook some shit up, she can handle shit until like her son comes along. I don't really care.
Logistics, Logistics.
Right, but like my point is, right, is that like the mental is that like, we as a society, right, in general, like we don't have these standards kind of codified in our cultures anymore. We don't have cultures as a general thing.
It's always been kind of been implicitly accepted, right? People have just acknowledged it and accepted it for millennia. Women. Well, I mean, let's look at like the old tribalistic cultures before the structuring of society.
You don't need to go back that far. You don't even.
We can see the evidence behind what a man and a woman was even back then.
Okay, I know that exists back then. But what I'm saying is, if we're looking at America, okay, we don't need to go back that far. What we need to look at,
of course,
who are the founding stock of America? Who came here? Okay, what did they allow to happen? And therefore, start to see what
I don't even think we need to go back that far. I think we need to go back to the 90s where all this kind of started to pop up.
Exactly.
It was really the 80s when the consoles
60s.
came out. Well, the 60s ideally,
very
but
good.
Functionally and habitually, it all proliferated when there was shit to do at home. Because I can tell you, there was not shit to do at home when I was a young kid. And then as it's with all these things to play.
Yo, I put Mountain. I put a video in Video Ideas. I think yesterday or the day before, right? It's with Mark Blythe interviewing this lady who wrote a book about the Rand Corporation and the Kennedys and Lyndon Johnson fucking administration, right? Where literally that's where this shit started, right? Where they started to have
the implication of divorce. The implication of divorce.
Yeah, but it's policies that are more based towards what's.
Well, yeah, Lyndon B. Johnson is white, or at least I think it's Lyndon B. Johnson or Truman. How is widely regarded to be the perpetuator of the divorce cycle that we see today, making divorce more accessible, more feasible for women to obtain. It was Reagan. Oh, Reagan. I swear it was before Reagan.
No, it was Reagan, son. Right, legit. But like Lyndon Johnson's the one who passed it, but it's Reagan was who originally passed it in California first.
Okay. Can we all just acknowledge that Reagan is the most Democratic Republican president ever?
Can we admit that Bill Clinton was the most Republican Democratic president ever?
Yes, we can admit to that. Like, dude, what is with I know this is like a bit of a tangent, but like, is anybody ever noticed that like our presidents that say that they represent this party are actually like not ever since Reagan was in power?
It shifts. It
really does.
The banner shifts beneath your feet, so it really doesn't matter. It's kind of like trying to stay in the same colored dot on the disco floor with the fucking spinning ball.
Yeah,
these guys are dancing like motherfuckers.
I mean, like the reason like I wanted to like have this conversation tonight, you know what I'm saying? Is because like I was talking to a fucking female about her kid, right? And her kid's like. He's like this shitbag motherfucker who like curses her out all the time and like fucking, you know what I mean? Like he stole like somebody's fucking
ungrateful brat
golf cart around here and wrecked it into a porch, right? And like, he stole somebody's dirt bike. And this is all in like a week. You know what I mean? Like he fucking he's just in general a piece of shit, right? You know what I mean? And like I was standing here and I was telling her and I was like, yo, look, you know, number one, you need to give him to his dad. You know what I'm saying? Because like, yo, that nigga there legitimately like needs a male role model like I've never seen before. And if it's me, I'm going to go to jail for throwing that nigga the fuck across the room. Like it's going to be what it is. Right. And like, we don't have these. I was telling her like, yo, he needs to have like the male culture put into him to like understand that like being a man is kind of like a sacred fucking thing. Right. And like manhood in a general thing is a sacred fucking thing that like you have to like appreciate and like guard. Right. Like I used to stand here. We used to talk about like fucking like ripping motherfuckers man cards off and shit on a regular basis. Right. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like, yo, give me your fucking man card. Or just walk up and just snatch somebody's shoulder. Right.
Okay.
Like,
So
grab, like,
why is it sacred? Why is it sacred?
Well, because hold on. So being a man, okay, I guess the best thing I could say is like being a man is a very
I understand what
interesting.
I think it means. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, of course. So I'm just going to give you a different point of view on what a man usually is, right? In native culture, a common derivative of what a man is a person who can actually hunt for themselves, right? A person who can survive on their own, a person who can provide for their family, right? A person who can provide for the tribe. So it's very much a thing that a lot of women I think have a hard time realizing this, and I think this is where No,
so
hold on. I'm not done with my point. I was going to provide. Yeah, sorry. No, you're good. I was going to say the difference between a man and a woman, I would say, and where women actually have a hard identifying aspect of men is this, right? We can't do emotion. We just like, I mean, when I mean this, like, we can't. Like, if we feel emotion, we're deemed weak. We're deemed pathetic. Yes. And so women have this innate understanding as if we are, like, supposed to feel, as if we can be emotional. No, like, we literally cannot be.
No.
There is every facet of, but every facet of society is basically around the idea that a man is supposed to be stoic. A man is supposed to be strong.
Yes.
A man is supposed to be physical, right? And if you are perceived, like, for example, like, it's the idea of, like, and even in this coincides with genetics, right? Like, women are going to be more inclined to a physical opposite of their own stature, right? Bigger women tend to be more attracted to smaller men and vice versa, right? Like, this is a thing that we see pretty frequently. And the thing that we need to understand is that women Women are not wanting the random guy that's like an emotional wreck. They want a guy who's going to be able to sit back and tell them to go fuck
we're
themselves.
emotional wrecks. We're fucking emotional. We don't want an emotional wreck. We're emotional. So yeah, we don't want that. So that's what
yeah,
I'm
but
saying.
I think that's where the majority of women, especially in our modern culture, have failed to understand. Like they have this assumption. Because it's something that when I was in Seattle, I experienced this a lot. Right, women had
test.
Yes, exactly. Women, especially fifth wave feminists, believe that there's like this. They like believe that men should be emotional, but when
you do, you fail. You fail the test, and you actually follow through on it. When you listen to them and do what they tell you to do,
but that's
wow,
the problem, right? But that's the problem, right? They are still like they're saying that we should be more emotional to try to understand emotion. The problem is that they are still going off an instinctual basis that a man is strong because they lack emotion, not attribute emotion.
Yeah, but
right?
that's what I'm saying. But that's if they were going off instinct, which is the best thing. Like I don't want my husband to be emotional. I want him to be strong and not show emotion, and that's not always the best thing. I don't want him to show emotion to anyone else, right? So what you're saying is that I don't get it. Like so these feminists, all right, so they want men to be emotional, but yet I'm sorry, repeat what you just said because I don't know.
Oh, okay. So I was referencing a thing I had experienced in Seattle. In Seattle, Seattle, by the way, is like widely regarded as like the feminist capital of America. Like
shithole.
Okay, yes, that too, but that's beside the point, right? No, I think the best way to interpret like the way at least the modern day woman interprets a man is like as followed, right? They believe men should be emotional because of the basis that they deem emotion a better way to connect with them, right? So when these same women go back on their word and imply that, oh, you're just too emotional, that's where the basis of this issue comes into play. We have how do I put this? I'm not going to even be polite about this. We have a bunch of fucking cunts who are running around and demanding that men be more emotional and more understanding, but yet are unwilling to do the exact same thing in return. They're hypocritical.
Yeah.
There's a biological basis.
Okay.
There's a survival.
Hang on, man. I gotta address
redirect.
I gotta address the nigga in the chat real quick. Hang on, man. I gotta chin check a nigga in the chat real quick. Hang on 1 minute. All right, look here. Okay. Now, this dude is a Native American, all right? He is Native American by blood, not by culture. The same as like a lot of Native Americans, because you know how this works. Mama ain't gonna stand for culture, daddy does. All right.
Yeah, and my dad is Native, baby. Straight up.
And daddy is not around most of the fucking time because mama has run him the fuck off. All right. That's how these things tend to work. You know what I'm saying? Like legitimately, like how these things work, and it's fine. All right, legit. I was very fortunate that my mom, you know what I'm saying, was a real guinea bitch, and like my grandfather was a real guinea nigga, right? And like my dad, you know what I'm saying, was the white dude of the family, but like he was still a fucking guinea motherfucker. So I was very fortunate to have like that bred into me. And so when I go, I'm an Italian, I can go like, yo, I'm a fucking Italian. I can tell you the culture, right? Because I have my family history going back to the 10th century. I have all that shit, right? But just because you don't have it, you know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't raised on the reservation. He wasn't motherfucking standing here going to a powwow. Doesn't matter. That's still his genetic fucking bloodline. And
and not to mention, if I need to pull up a picture of my fucking pop, I can't easily do that. Like, that's not an issue.
You can look. Yeah, I pulled up. I've seen him on cam. Like, he's Native American, like 100%.
Like, yeah, like there's no.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna need a
dude. I tan easily, dude. Like seriously. No, I'm actually it's even funnier because like I can easily pull up pictures of my dad. Like he's straight up like there's no way of mistaking it. He is Native. Like, and not to mention, like,
Look,
even if I'm,
look.
and not to mention, my dad and I, like, my dad is like a very interesting native
Now you just sound like
individual.
you're overcompensating, so we can't even.
No,
talk
no,
about
no,
it.
no. I would no, because there was a guy who proclaimed that I was a white boy. So I want to try to imply that the basis of
I'm
that
just
is very
fucking with you,
interesting.
man.
I
Yeah,
know.
I'm fucking with you.
Right,
But
this is again, this is what this fucking streams out. It's literally.
I know.
Oh, I love
I
it.
fuck with people. I fuck with people. I'm
You know what I mean?
sorry.
Like,
No,
this is what
I
this
think
shit's
my
about, like real shit.
I
Like
think
100%. You know what I mean? Like when you go, you ain't a fucking man, you fucking bitch, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's what this conversation is motherfucking
Love
like
it.
right here. You know what I'm saying?
of course, yeah, no, I
That's what
think
this
it's
is
very
all
interesting.
about.
See,
100%.
No,
here's
of
the
course.
thing. Like when I first started teaching, because I'm like white, but I have like kinky hair and everything. I have olive skin. My kids would be like, "Hey, are you mixed? Are you mixed?" Like no, I'm a white girl. I'm like poor white trash. Like I don't know what I am, but I'm poor white farmers. You know, I just look this way. So yeah.
Yeah, no. I think that's kind of well, and let's also put out another thing here. Like we in the United States have implemented so many different variations of culture that it's really hard to say that a native person is truly native anymore. And I'm sorry, but this is just the sad reality. My dad, even though he associated with the Choctaw tribe, along with myself and my brother, we weren't actually taking welfare from the government. We weren't actually members, like active members of the tribe.
Okay.
I think my brother might be the first member of our family since our great granddad, who actually identified along with the Choctaw tribe. That's beside the point.
That's
The
actually a good
issue.
thing, yeah.
Oh, it is. But the problem is that the reason why is our family, specifically my grandfather, instilled this idea that hard work gets you places, right? And this idea is held firmly within our family. I'm a hard worker. My dad is a hard worker. My uncle's a hard worker. My grandfather was a hard worker, and all of us would rather remain hardworking individuals than be subservient to the government. So the fact of the matter is, like, I'm honestly don't give a shit if somebody says that I'm fucking white. Like, the basis of my identity is still derivative of my father and my uncle and my grandfather before me.
Okay, let me ask you something. Okay, totally different question. I'm sorry, Tom. Let me just ask
You're
this.
good. I mean, listen, straight,
So
artists fucking
like,
said, see, that's what I said. And so I wanted to put that
I
the fuck
know.
out.
I'm just.
You know what I mean?
I've
Like,
never
I wanted
if
to give him
someone
some
were to say,
love.
like,
You know what I'm
if
saying?
they associated you with Black culture, would you be okay with that? Like,
Who,
that'd
me?
be-
Black culture?
do you think white culture and Black
Me?
culture are different, or?
I think they're definitely different. No, I think they're absolutely different. Like, if we're gonna sit here and pretend like blacks and whites are culturally similar, then we've missed the point, right? And this is kind of this goes back to the issue with gender yet again, right? Can we say that men and women are culturally similar? No, we can't, because there are different cultural responsibilities that both of them have, right? The same thing is implicit with culture. With same thing is implicit with race, right? This is where the argument comes in full circle, right? If we're going to sit here and pretend, like, for example, because I don't associate with the powwows or go to actual, like, tribal bonfires, like that, I'm not native, then this is where the issue comes in, right? It's not the basis of what you are, but what you do, right?
Okay.
And so the basis of what makes a man and a woman is very simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
The basis of a woman is a person who, and this is where I literally will say the difference. A man is a man. A woman is a womb man.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense though, right? Because a woman is the only one with the womb. The woman is the only one that has the ability to provide a child. It's the only reason why we have a race to begin with. And so if we haven't, okay, screw you. First off, but second off, I think when we discuss these issues, we have to realize that this blurring of, like, gender has led to the, like, decline of, like, of population within the United States. We have started to see a slow in population growth in the United States due to this weird blurring of, like, gender identity. And I would say that that's more dangerous than any aspect of, like,
it's the opposite. It's the opposite. So here, it's like this. Like I was saying, it all started when there was more to do inside your house than out with consoles and entertainment. And that and the boomers being a very selfish generation. They just wanted to play with their new money.
Can
right?
I say something here? I'd
Go
say
ahead, my brother.
it probably started when working became a lot easier. You didn't have to be in farms. You got to work in offices with computers. I think that's when it kind of started.
Well, isn't that the implicit nature of humanity? When things get easier, we become complacent and lazy.
Yeah, and then the lines start to blur because now women are working in offices thinking they can do the same shit a man can.
Yeah, but that's not the case, obviously.
There was a trust. There was a
Clearly.
trust in the system, right? So the boomers came along and said, okay, kids, mom and I want to go and spend our money and fuck. Good luck. All you need is a job, and you'll be fine.
Yep.
And go raise yourself. So
Yep.
you can even reference old 80s movies where it's like, you're not, what was it? It was Tom Arnold in the one with Schwarzenegger, fucking Jamie Lee Curtis.
Right. Oh, True Lies.
True Lies, where he's like,
Yep,
yo, you're
yep.
not raising your kids anymore. Madonna and MTV are raising your kids. So this shit has been known. And so that would have been fine because, people get to grow up and they get to reflect on their lives and change course and shit. But a few generations later, all of those premises turned out to be false. I mean, look where we're at right now. They're, and they call it the death of the American dream, which is not, that's not the point. It's really a matter of the pathway to get there that you've been told is wrong. There is still a pathway. It's just taken up by entrepreneurs and the like. It's not handed down familially anymore.
Of course.
There's been a lot of parents abstaining from the responsibility of parenting. And that is, first of all, it's anti-biblical. Like, according to the scripture, you're supposed to keep your shit like together in the household, and your generations are supposed to be there. And we lost that culture.
I don't think it's even anti-biblical. I think it's just anti-human.
I
right?
think so too.
We literally expect our kids to be functioning adults without the parents being there, and that in itself is just anti-human. Like, our kids aren't robots.
And the rules of the game changed during the game. So the goalposts were completely moved. So now you have Gen Z. So the millennials went through it, and they kind of adjusted with a reaction. So when you say that the result, the gender thing is a result of the breakup of the family, not the other way around.
Yeah.
All right. So you have people trying to justify their existence, trying to figure out what the fuck happened. They're just rebelling.
Let me throw a human face on this, right? So I went to I think it was Family Dollar Day, right? I went across, me and my daughters down at the river, and like we were fucking playing in the mud and shit, and fucking,
nice,
fucking up their brand new clothes that I just put on them, right? And so like we went across the street. I should have thought about. I gave them a bath, right, because they smelled, right? So I'm like, listen, we take a bath, and I put fresh clothes on them, and I was like, you know what, I'm going fishing. Took them down fishing, and man, that fucking river was muddy. Oh my god. Like I came back with like
the best though.
I came back with like we left with 4 shoes on 4 feet. We came back with 3 shoes on 4 feet, right? So like it was real muddy, right? But anyway,
That's
so
awesome.
like we went to Family Dollar, and like I was gonna leave them in the car. I was like, you know what? Nah, let me fucking throw them. I threw my daughter in the grocery cart who had 1 shoe, right? And because she also lost her sock, right? But so like fucking I threw my daughter in the grocery cart, and the other one walked, with her muddy ass shoes and shit throughout the thing. And there was this I don't know how the fuck this Asian kid's living up here in Amish country. I have no idea where he came from, right? Because I know he's not Mexican. He's fucking Asian, right? And like he's behind the counter, and like he's talking about how like he doesn't smoke, he doesn't vape. He didn't even mention drinking, right? And like he's like, I'm not ever gonna get a woman. I don't want to get married. I don't want to ever have kids. I mean, I just want to do stupid shit my whole life, right? And I'm looking at him like, bro, like your life sounds like it's gonna suck and be boring as fuck, right? I'm like, the whole point of life is to enjoy it. Like, get drunk, have sex, smoke some weed.
But no,
like
you don't know the whole point of those. I agree. I think the whole point of a man is to be a man, to experiment, to do things, to have fun.
Can I tell a story?
Yes.
Can I give a story time? Can I give a story?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Story.
So my husband works really hard. He works on a site development company. So he's like a foreman. And so he, oversees a crew, and big development company. So, but he's like, you know what, if I couldn't come home to you where you cook me supper, you're like trying to make, I mean, he works hard as fuck. It's 96 degrees in Georgia right now. It's hard as, it's hot. He's like, if I couldn't come home to you, I don't know what I would do if I had to come home, and I wouldn't even eat. I wouldn't even, have a good home and whatever. So, yeah, I mean, you only work as a man so that here's my point of view, only from my husband's point of view. All right. He works so hard so that he can come home and be taken care of by a woman who's like, you know what? I appreciate you. I'm going to give you a solace, right? From the days, from how hard you work during the day. I'm going to show you that I appreciate what you did, because I damn sure couldn't be out in the sun. Damn sure couldn't do what you do. I'm going to give you a good meal, and you can lay your head down. And I'm going to, so I just like, why would you work as a man unless you have that? I don't understand.
Well, it's like if you work, the reason why.
Let me answer that. Let me answer that. Right. So like, I had a girl, right, and we just had like 2 kids together, right? Fucking the past 2 years, right? My daughter was born fucking May. What was it? May motherfucking 19th. May 19th on my birthday, she was born, right? May 20th. I'm sorry, the day after my birthday, she was born in the morning. So fucking before like the baby was born, like 2 months before the baby was born, she got pissed off, got a wild hair up her ass, and fucking left. But she had been telling me for like 6 months before this that she was gonna fucking leave, right? And during this like 6-month period, my brain eventually got to the point where I was like, please fucking leave, get the fuck out of the goddamn house so I can enjoy myself, right?
Wow.
And now I work, right? And I come home, and the reason I work and come home is number 1, to take care of my kids. But number 2 is to be able to enjoy myself and go and get pussy and enjoy my life, right? And that's literally like,
but that's not one and the same.
But it's almost
hold on. So I could even go even one step further with this. So I'm a young man. Like I'm 24. So like I work. I do security work at a construction site in Texas. Okay, it is 98 to 100 degrees at this point in time in the summer. Right, it is hot as fuck.
You don't have
the reason why. I do, but I'm not supposed to be in it while I'm working. So
because you can't see shit.
Exactly, yeah. But the basis of it is like this, right? I do it not because I get to go like home at the end of the day. I live and work on sites. This is like my site is my home, basically, right? The reason why I do it is so that I can have the opportunity to have a family. It's like I'm thinking about it like this, right? I want to get to a point where I want to have a family. I want to be able to live a life where I can raise a kid and have a wife, right? And this is the reason why I work, so that I can get to a point where I can have it. So where you're saying like, oh, well, why would a man work if they don't have anything? Like, it's because they want to have these things mostly. Like men want to be happy. Men want to do things.
I'm already past that. It doesn't count for me.
Well, sorry, you're living a sad life, Mountain, and you probably.
I'm good, man. I actually, that thing about not wanting to wake up next to a woman is a black cloud of negativity. Look, you can only go through so much heartache before you're just like, you know what, fuck it.
That's a very depressing way to live.
No, I'm telling you, bro. Like, listen, I'll be real. Like, you don't understand the sheer raw volume of fucking vaginas thrown at me.
Just okay, right? A soft titty in your hand when you're on your side, like. I'm just telling you, like, there's no substitute.
You act like I don't know. Listen, I literally have to like, I have to like listen to women whine about how like I go, no, don't come over. I want to just sleep alone in my bed. Right?
I'm just saying, because, like any man is like, oh, no, fuck that bitch. Like, just come down to Georgia, man. There's some Georgia bitches. I promise you, there's some Georgia.
Listen, you don't understand. Like, I have some amazing cutty up here, right? I have some amazing females. They're fucking spectacular. Nice big titties, small, fast, fucking nice hips, gorgeous.
Hopefully it ain't all silicon.
Yeah, none of this is silicon. These are Appalachian bitches who didn't have the money to be built. You know what I'm saying? Legit.
Doesn't matter.
Right?
Just travel.
I'll be real. I still like having my own space.
Well, yeah, no, there's this mindset when, like, most single men will tell like you, like, there is this idea that, like, living alone is a free aspect in itself.
Sure.
But I mean, I'm sorry to say this, Tom, but, like, the whole basis of, like, the reason why I want to have a family, right, is not because I want to not because I want to actually have fun. I want to literally entrust my life to something, to put my life into something valuable, to see it become my future.
Let me say this. Let me say this. I do have the most beautiful woman in the world living here. All right, but she's
living
5.
here.
Yeah, she's 5. All right,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? And
Oh,
she's
nice,
beautiful,
nice.
and I love
Yeah,
her
no,
to
of course.
death, right, and she lives here with me full time. You know what I mean? And, like, she goes to the theater when I go to work. You know what I'm saying? And, like, you know, if I make breakfast for her every morning, and then I go to sleep for a little bit.
But isn't that the value of being?
8 of those, Pino? You got like 8 of those things.
I know.
Yeah, but isn't that the value of being a man? Is, like, the idea of having a kid and being able to raise it, and being able to say, "This is mine."
This is mine. Yes.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, like, literally, like, yo, I'm saying, like, I do have, you know what I'm saying, like, somebody here, right? But, like, it's not somebody who's going to complain to me to, like, you know, like,
but
fucking,
that's the
oh my
thing
God, my day was so terrible, right? She's gonna go, Daddy.
Oh, she's
Daddy,
gonna complain one day.
I want
Wait
pink
till
milk,
she's like
Daddy. I
5
want pink
years
milk,
older.
Daddy. Thank you.
She's like a fucking puppy. Wait till she's like 5 years older. She's gonna be a bitchy ass teenager.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's still gonna be his princess, right? And, like,
yeah.
like,
And
that's the thing, right?
Somebody else has to deal with.
But hold on, isn't that the point though? Like, that's the point of being. Well, no, I disagree. I disagree. I think the biggest thing, like, look, I think the worst thing you could do to a man is take away their child, right? Because that child is more than just a kid. That kid is the culmination to that entire individual's existence. That kid is their future, their dynasty, literally everything. And so, like, this is why I also find I have issue with, like, some of the more recent abortion arguments. Like, I mean, it's literally like you're taking away their future. Like,
it's their fucking sperm, dude. Okay, a man is only his. I mean, I'm sorry, but a man biologically, his sperm is his fucking existence. All right. So if his sperm creates something, then that is fucking important. All right. And if a woman agrees that she's gonna give life to his sperm, then fucking A, that's your responsibility. I'm just saying, like, that's when you're a woman, okay?
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying, is, like, not only that, but, like, so I had my my oldest son from, like, when he was 5 to, like, he was, like, 13, right? His mom dropped him off and everything back then, right? But, like, once he hit, like, you know, I mean, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, I'll be honest with you, like, it was awesome because, like, yes, he was a bitchy kid or whatever it is. You know, all kids are fucking whiny, right? But
all
like,
kids are bitchy, yeah.
Right. All kids are fucking assholes. But, like, at 10 years old, like, yo, all 4th graders, somebody wants to punch in the fucking face, right? But, like, basically, you know, I mean, the thing is that when I come home from, like, I worked at a pizza shop across the street, I'd come home and he'd have dinner.
We lost one.
Yeah, I feel you.
We lost one.
Yeah, she'll probably be back, right? But,
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, he'd have dinner ready for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we took care of each other, and it was fucking great.
Yeah.
You know,
well, it's like the relationship between my dad and myself, right? Like, to this day, I will never forget my father, because he is the type of person that when all things came together, right? My dad was the reason why I stayed. And when I was basically random little story. When I was 17, my mom and I got into a horrible heated argument. Like, this was like 3 weeks before my graduation in high school. Like, I actually was done with her shit. Like, by this point, my mom had pretty much made it crystal clear. You're not an individual. You are my property. And so I was just basically told her, like, one day, I had enough. I don't care. I'm leaving. Yeah. And so I'm literally in my room packing my bags. I'm getting ready to freaking leave, right? And I am literally there, and my dad comes up, right? And my dad is, like, literally talking with me straight up, and him and I are talking, and he tells me, like, look, I understand what's going on, but please, and he literally goes down onto his knees and starts crying. Like he cried for me because he was willing, because he saw that I was about to leave, and I told him like I can't do this anymore. Like I literally can't do this anymore. I can't just sit back and pretend like I'm not happy. I can't just sit back and pretend like I'm happy. My dad took the effort to beg me to stay, and that means everything.
He failed you, dude. Sorry to say, but what you should have done was put that bitch in her place. Let me give you a little point
I
of view.
agree. Why was mom so horrible? If you had a dad there, what the hell was he doing?
If he was being a man, look,
my dad is the reason why I stayed. Like,
okay,
the only reason
here, it's like this: women raising kids, and I see this all the time. The woman is going to be egotistical and combative with the child at a certain age.
Yep.
Right.
Of course.
And the man, the role of the man to be a man is to say, okay, this is no big deal. What's in the best interest? What is the lesson for this child to learn today that'll last a lifetime?
Mm-hmm.
That's how men approach it. And guys like to have fun. Chicks stress shit all the time.
Of course.
Chicks like to play memes. Like they play a theme.
How
do I look? How do I appear?
Underdog, how old are you, bro? I need to know right before like fucking 23.
That puff, that huff and puff right there, though.
Yeah, I don't want to put him in a bad position, right? I
know, but
right. You know
I do agree. Like women are very. We will. Sorry.
They're not on the same way. We're
very fickle. Yes, we're very fickle.
Right. Yeah, no, like my mom and my dad are now divorced because of this.
Let me finish Mountain's argument. Like, the problem is like literally women argue with a kid, dude just tells them you're gonna fucking do this shit, right? You don't argue. There's no bullshit. There's no nonsense. There's no garbage.
Yeah.
It's not.
This is what's going to happen.
I think that's.
You don't fucking do it. I'm gonna break your fucking teeth.
Exactly. Yeah, but I think that's. Right. I think that's where my dad.
Underdog. Here's the thing. So, like, here's the question: how bad do you want a kid? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, look. If you want a kid, if you want a kid right now at 23 years old, look, I'm gonna put it like this. Okay.
So true.
Here's the reality of it. Okay. So, like, if you are going to have a kid, right, at motherfucking like 23 years old. Understand?
But we're talking to a 23-year-old like he's our age. He's 23. We can't talk to him like he's 20.
Here's the thing.
We can't talk to him like he's our age, dude.
I'm gonna put this.
Okay.
I'll put this the best way I know how. All right. So here's what it is.
All right. You're a man.
Really,
all right.
Here's the thing. All right. So here's the thing. When you're 41, the kid will be 18. All right. So that means 41. If things go badly, you're a free man at 41. That's the motherfucking question that you have to have in your goddamn head, is whether or not, you know what I mean, you want to stand here and motherfucking, like, if you want to take the risk, take it now, because the later you wait to take that fucking risk, you know what I'm saying, the worse it's gonna be.
Yeah, the moment
you don't want to be 55 paying child support.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very simple, right? Like, if you want to have a kid, you want to be doing it like within your 20s. It is one of the biggest mistakes that we see made within modern society, and this is something the boomers had very much done
to the younger
explicitly.
generation?
And I think this is the reason why the millennials are widely derived as a culture of failure, right? Is they started having kids in their 30s, right? This is very much. Oh, absolutely, because you're in your 50s.
When you're 16 or 60, trust me.
Yeah. When you're like, it's as simple as this, right? You're 30, right? You're going to have your kids into your 50s in that house, like, period, point blank. That is a point where you can't relate to them. You can't physically compete with them. You can't be there for them physically. And that's the problem here. That's why my dad pretty much failed me, as Mountain said. My dad was 50. He couldn't be there for me all the time physically. And I was a very active kid growing up. And so that's why my dad, at the end of the day, he begged me to stay, because I think he understood the failure that he had done as a father to not be there. Because right after, he was there in every aspect of my life from that point forward.
Look, as far as marriage is concerned, right? Like, God, man, I never want to tell a dude to get married because it's such a bad fucking deal for you, no matter what happens.
Bullshit.
Right?
Bullshit.
It is a terrible
bullshit. Stop.
Not bullshit.
Bullshit.
I got bullshit.
No, just have a kid. Just
What are you, Chinese?
No,
it.
I have no kids.
No, hold on. Just
I've been
have a
married
kid. Like,
for
if it's
20
like
years,
with
so.
marriage, so be it. If it's adoption, so be it. Just make sure that you make something of your life, right?
You don't have to have a kid to have fucking make something.
Like your kid,
life.
like there's a reason why dynasties are considered to be that of your children,
Yes, I agree.
and your future is derived of your children.
I completely
The basis
agree.
of like historical glory is always going to be through
But-
the lens of your
okay.
children. Look,
Okay.
people will remember the names of freaking like people will remember the names of the fathers of the greatest people because they are the fathers of these great individuals.
Yep, the fathers,
right?
exactly.
Like, for example, we know the names of the fathers because they raised them. And I mean, obviously people obviously compare, this is obviously the case. Biden is not a good man. He is not a man, in my opinion. He's just some geriatric little boy running the White House like a dollhouse. But we remember his father because his father was the person who raised him. He raised, in all metrics, whether we like him or not, a president. And that will be forever remembered. His father will always be, that will always be his father's destiny. Right? And this is something that we have to understand, right? Your job as a parent is to raise the future.
Yeah. I agree in that, but I don't know why you went the Biden track. I'm
here's the
confused
difference.
on that.
You got a government with guns pointing at you if a certain person in your household is like, I'm not happy. Government, get the guns, put it in their asses, and send them to jail.
That's the problem. Right?
Look, here's the thing.
The risk profile is too high. Go for
it. A lot of the times, when we talk about marriage and government, here's the one thing. On the one side, with the woman, she doesn't have to stay. She can have the government come down and take the man away, take the kids away, all that shit.
Fucked up.
And on the man's side, sure, he can get married and have a kid, but he's thinking, oh shit, anything goes wrong, I'm fucked. You literally think about this. You get sent to jail where men kill themselves. Like, holy shit.
Straight to jail.
Well, that goes back to the cultural responsibility, right?
This nigga might be borderline retarded. I'll be honest with you, right?
No,
underdog.
Straight to jail.
Wait a minute. No. I'm talking about underdog. He makes $82,000 a year, right? At 23, he's like, I'm not sure if I'm ready. Shut the fuck up, dummy.
For an educated,
I was 23 making like fucking 25,000 a fucking year. Right?
Underdog.
No. Yo, I was 23. I was 23 years old, legitimately. Like, I was making $8.97 an hour stacking boxes. No. I was putting hammers together. Right.
Okay. I would also like to put something out here, right? Underdog. Underdog. I am going to tell you this right now. The fact that you don't have a kid already is sad. Like, I am just going to say this right now. You are making far more money than most people your age. $82,000 a year is unfathomable. Do you understand how many people make that much money a year at your age? Very few. You are a part of a very elite group of people, and you are saying that you're not ready. Not only are you ready, you have no excuse not to be ready.
That's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true. It depends on the spending habits.
Wait a minute. No, it doesn't. All right. So here's the thing. So like literally, like right now,
I can make 82K disappear in a heartbeat.
Underdog right now in this fucking call.
Before taxes or after?
In this stream right now, you have a dude who's almost 50, right? And you have another nigga who's almost 40. Both of us have children. And if you need help on like knowing shit on what to do with a kid, you can ask. We're right the fuck here. Right? Shit. Like, we're right here. You literally have resources to help you. What are you worried about mental? Right.
So,
well, I mean, it's obviously, I understand where he's coming from. It's a big thing that he has to decide for himself, but I'm just going to say this flat out. The only reason why I don't have a kid at the moment is literally because of my job. Like, I just can't I can't live on site and have a kid at my site. That's basically the only reason why I don't have a kid.
Okay.
But like, dude, you like, seriously, straight up, like, I'm just going to tell you this. There is literally no excuse for you not to have a kid. Like, I'm sorry, there just isn't.
That's not true. Like
I mean,
He makes,
unless you're
dude.
afraid of
He
you-
makes, dude.
Okay,
He makes
but no, wait,
$82,000 a
Okay,
year.
that's
And
the
do you have his
point.
credit report? Do you,
Government.
do you know what his
Hello.
DTI is? Like,
said,
if you
he
don't
said
have,
no, it's not true. So let him explain. He said
if you don't
no,
have a
not true.
good discipline, if you don't have good fiscal discipline, then it doesn't matter how much you make. You're not ready.
I mean, he's a software
Okay.
engineer. I think he has good enough discipline.
How
You don't
old?
know that.
How old?
He's 23, making $80,000
Okay, that's
a
very
year.
young.
I think he
Very
has discipline. Like, I don't think
That is
discipline is an
That
issue.
is not very young for a man
know
who's
that.
like
That's-
fucking disciplined enough.
No,
look,
you don't know his
number one, all right.
backstory. You
Okay,
don't know his
wait. All right,
backstory.
let's put some basic math on it. All right. First off, Florida man, you were saying something, my brother. Please finish what your point was before I
Yes,
start my
please.
I was
pitch.
gonna say, yeah, again, in society, it doesn't matter. Yeah, he's making a lot of money. Yeah, he can have a kid. Oh, 8 years go by. He's making. All right, let me back up. 5 years go by. Let's say he's making 150,000. Another 4 years. Oh wait, his wife now divorce raped him. Takes more than half. Oh, he's got to pay alimony and child support. He's like, it doesn't matter. It's fucked.
That's right. And then
The
ends up
government
taking a
with guns.
$40,000 a year job, or
They send
working
cops
3
to
jobs.
kidnap you, as Tom said himself. Like,
Okay, let me ask you this. All right, so the men who are speaking just now, let me ask you this. So is
Yeah,
it,
but if that's the basis of why you shouldn't have a kid, then we shouldn't be having kids at all.
no?
Yeah.
And I'm
you
sorry,
only have
I'm
a
to
lot of
seeing,
people are doing
trust
that.
females.
yeah,
but
that'd
I'm
be
seeing,
happening.
but the thing is like we're also seeing the opposite too.
Okay,
We're
can
seeing
I
the
ask
opposite too. Either we're seeing people
you,
have
you hear me?
too many kids or no kids at all.
Am I talking?
Right? And I personally,
Fire out. Let Southern Girl talk real quick, please.
No, I was just saying. I didn't know if you could hear me. I was just asking because the men who were like, I mean, I agree with like, okay, it doesn't matter if you're making this amount of money. Okay, so yeah, that amount of money doesn't mean he gets a female that is actually valuable enough that he's willing to plant his fucking seed, which is very valuable, obviously, because it's worth 82 fucking grand a year. That's his fucking seed, right?
Hey, Tom.
So, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let me. All
Tom,
right.
pull up the I Got Standards for a website real quick.
Hang on.
Let's run an analysis on this.
No.
on this guy.
Hang on, man. Listen, right, yo, artist. Do you think, my brother? It's not nice to see you out here. Let me address underdog real quick because like this is a big homie question, and I love big homie questions. Who the fuck is that? Right.
I'll do it. Let me figure out how to do
Who's
this.
echoing?
Not me. I don't think.
Somebody's echoing. All right. Anyway, right. So, like, okay, let me address underdog's question here because this is an important motherfucking question, right? Legitimately, right? This is probably one of the most important questions that you're ever gonna motherfucking ask yourself, right? Gaming and yelling's here, my brother. Fucking let me throw my boy in the motherfucking stream. Guess he just got done with his movies. All right, so let me say this. I grew up in a very bad environment where like it built confidence in myself to be able to do things I probably, you know what I mean, like fucking I probably like wouldn't really have the confidence to do if, you know what I'm saying, I didn't have like all those hard times behind me. But the truth is, right, it's having a child and being a father is a huge responsibility, but on the same point, it's one of the most gratifying things you could possibly do, right?
If you're good
Like,
at it.
Well, no, not
no, you don't even have to be good at it.
You don't have to be. Yeah, it's not one of those being good at things. It's not something you can practice. It's
Just
not something
easier
that you try,
for the kid.
right?
Look,
Like,
it just comes
what
naturally.
you do, yeah, like what you do as a father, right? And like
I
it
disagree.
doesn't start like when the baby's born, right?
No, it
Like
starts way ahead of time. You got to think about shit.
no,
about
it
having a
starts
plan.
way after, right? Legitimately, like you as a dad, the most you're going to do with your child when it's an infant, you know what I mean, till like it's probably like a year and a half is, you know what I mean, like kind of like hang out with it and, you know what I mean, like, you know, fucking like I used to sit and I'd take my daughter and I'd put her on my chest and I'd read to her, right? Or I do that with my sons as well, right? And that's how like you put them to sleep, you know what I mean, when they're fucking crying, right? And like it's not so much that like, you know, you're doing it because like you want them to be smarter. You're doing it because like your voice talking to them, you know what I mean? And like filling them with, just like filling the void with sound and the vibrations and just letting them know that they're safe puts them to sleep, right? And like it's your confidence level of going like, I got this, right? Nothing more. That's all it is. It's just like in your brain, you're going, I got this, right? And that's really like what makes. Wait, hang on, man. Wait.
Okay.
And that's what makes like dads like have like their children really like them when they're babies, right? Like my baby's moms, you know what I'm saying, or my wives at that point, whatever the case was, like they used to get upset because the kid would scream and scream and scream and scream and scream, right? Like, and you would sit here and you'd take the baby and you'd hold him, right? And like you just rock real slow back and forth, and the baby would calm down because like you were calm. Because you know that the baby can pick up on your vibes, right? These are like really simple things, and they come just with time. They come with just you being a human being, you loving individuals, you loving your children, and you know what I'm saying, like you being that type of person. Being a father is a very rewarding thing, right? It's an extremely rewarding thing as a whole. And once they get old enough, right? Like you'll be able to like take them and do things with them. Like you go, you know, take them to the park, or you take them, you know what I'm saying, like out back, and you know what I mean, like even just like standing there, like put them on your lap while you know you ride the fucking riding mower to cut your grass, or you know what I mean, you fucking take them down to your local lake and
you teach them how to ride a bike.
Yeah, you put the bobber on and like fucking help them catch sunnies, right? These little things. Yeah,
the thing you remember is the little things. Like you don't really think about the impact of your child and how he views you. You just kind of learn that your child will not remember the thing. Like for example, when I was growing up, I literally don't remember like everything that my father did for me, but I do remember the things that stuck out the most. I remember going fishing with him. I remember going and throwing the football around with him. I remember watching college football with him growing up. I remember talking about cars with him. As much as I hated fucking cars, like I'm not a mechanic, but like I freaking love those conversations. Like it's stuff like that where even if you go back and try to remember your own time with your own father, you'll start noticing that a true father is a guy who makes small memories.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing more.
Exactly. No, that's what makes it. Yeah, that's the perfect description. Actually, it's a perfect description.
Right. You know what I mean?
You want to teach your kids skills. You want them to struggle with shit and become competent and have these little successes so that they develop esteem.
But you want them to feel
like you will literally have your heart jump out of your chest every time they fall. Right? You know what I'm saying? Every time they fuck some shit up. But you have to watch him do it sometimes, right? Just to teach him these lessons. Like I literally like one of my daughters got a hold of a pair of fucking scissors today. I don't know where the fuck she found the goddamn scissors, but they went outside and like one of them cut the other one's finger, right? And my daughter comes inside, she's bleeding, she's crying. It's not like a bad cut, whatever, right? And I rinse it off in the sink and I take it over and I put a Band-Aid on her and she goes, "Thank you for my Band-Aid, Daddy." And then she smiles, hugs me, and walks the fuck off like nothing happened, right? You know what I mean? And like, it's these little fucking things. They break your fucking heart and they fucking just wear on you.
But the thing is that it goes even one step further because she will remember that for the rest of her life, right? She will remember that one story because whether you want to admit it or not, well, no, it will because if that will mean something to her someday. Like when she looks back at what Tom has done, right? She will literally see how caring of a person he was, and she'll think of that Band-Aid. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, you don't need to be the best dad in the world. Your kids will already think that. They don't see anyone as better than you because you are their world.
Yeah, they're like a puppy. Like, quite literally, they're like a puppy. They're excited when you come home. You know what I mean? Like, you punish them, and they're like, if I come and curl up in front of your feet, like, I'm sorry, right? You know what I mean?
Look.
And he asked if I ever had doubts on my first kid, right? Yes, of course you have. Of course you have doubts. You fucking fear for your fucking life, right? Like you fear for your God. You have no idea what's gonna happen, right? But like the moment that kid gets there, and let me tell you something. Like when you go to cut the umbilical cord, I thought it was gonna be like a hot dog. It's not. It's like a knuckle. Like
like a hot dog.
I heard
that shit
crunch.
is gross.
Yo, I heard that crunch.
Like a hot dog.
That thing is awful. I don't ever want to see one of those fucking things again.
Yo, it looked like because it looked like a sausage casing, right? So I assumed it was just gonna be like just
makes me gross out.
Yo, that thing was like cutting through BX. That shit was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, doesn't the ability? If I'm not mistaken, the umbilical cord has like an internal shell that is mostly like.
Sounds fucking.
It's like it's made of like pure carbon. Like it's like made of like the internal shell of a umbilical cord is like internal. It's like full pure carbon.
And the aftertaste is God. Horrible.
The taste.
Wait, hold up. Did you just eat the umbilical cord? Like what the fuck?
What doesn't
the
everybody?
taste of it was just
No. What, dude? No. You're the only person I've ever heard.
Not correct the taste.
I'm sorry. Hearing. I think you're the only person that I've ever met in the entire globe that has eaten the umbilical cord. Like, are you okay, man?
Eat it? Ew, no, you just suck on it.
Yeah, just suck it a little bit. Just on the tip a little bit.
It's called bonding.
Just the tip.
It's not called bonding. Like what?
What the fuck are you guys doing? Are you guys dogs or something? Like what the fuck? Why would you? No, wait, no.
It's fucking.
You have to lick your. What world do you live in where you lick your child clean? What are you, a dog?
So anyway, here's the thing. All right. And this backs up everything because nothing is singularly determined here, right? My suggestion is before you jump into the world of having kids, like if it's not an accident, which by the way, the girl that you're banging decides when she's going to have the kid. They just like,
oh, does she? You don't decide to put a condom on?
They decide.
No?
Please, condoms.
Oh, no.
Give me a fucking break with that shit.
What the fuck
If
is
condoms actually
I
work,
mean,
you would need abortion.
I mean, I've never done this. I'm just saying.
Hey, look. All I gotta say is I've never had to wear a condom while having sex.
I mean, I haven't.
That pull-up game is strong. Believe me, that's how.
No, it's not. It's not pull-up game.
Have a kid with her? I don't know. Like,
dude, straight up. Like, there was a girl that literally tried to tell me that she was having my twins, even though that I had only. She was saying like she was like 4 months pregnant, even though that I only fucked her 2 months prior to. She was like
what
having
I'm
kids.
is like, yeah, it's two people agreeing, right? So I know in the heat of the moment, I understand, but I'm just saying, like, if you're a dude and you know, like, your sperm has to go into her to have that interaction, then you know, like,
not the point.
Look. First of all, there is no world. Look, there is no world. Okay, I'm sorry. I've never had a woman tell me to wear a condom. I've never met a woman who is like condoms.
And she wanted to have your baby, dude. And she was like, jackpot.
All right, let me say this, right? Let me say this, and let me also approach it this way too.
Then you weren't smart enough to wear a condom.
No, I don't really care about this. This is a dumb conversation. We're helping my brother here, right? So like,
I was trying, but I got fucking hijacked.
Remember underdog. Remember when you have a kid though, right? Like, there's two people who you're going to be raising. It's not just a kid; it's her too.
Of course,
right?
Yeah.
And that's really the big one. Like, that's like she's almost more important than the baby is, as far as
that's exactly what I was trying to say, dude.
Because she's the one that you gotta fucking be stuck with. Yeah.
Make up your mind. Make up your mind on your method and your pattern of how.
Like, I was actually going to give him some advice, right? Because I think that's important, right? Because here's the thing. So like, my fucking son Nucci's mom and shit, she had to have a C-section. Right. And so like they did the C-section and I was in the room when they did the C-section and shit. Right. And like they have like, those big like fucking green towel things or whatever. Like,
oh God, Jesus Christ,
so,
man.
like, she can't see it. You know what I mean? And she's looking at me and she's losing her fucking mind. And like, and I'm like, it's okay, baby. Everything's great. You're doing such a good job.
Oh
like,
my God.
Right. But like, it's your job as a dad, as her husband, as a man, to stand there and like hold your fucking composure. Right. You look down and like you're seeing the
Holy
inside
fuck.
of your
Holy
fucking
fuck.
wife
Yeah.
splayed open.
Flipped
right?
upside down on the fucking sheet. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're just standing there like, oh my God, the
Fucking
fuck
brutal.
is this? And he's like, and you
It
turn
looks like
over
Saving
to her.
Private Ryan, and you're like, yeah, it's cool.
Right? Like, yeah,
You have to literally,
you're like, baby, yo, it's good. Don't worry, man. Everything is great. You know what I'm saying? You're doing such a good job.
You're looking good.
Like, yo, but this is what
Dude,
it's like. Crib,
straight up,
right? Like, yo,
dude,
she's
straight
gonna
up,
be losing her fucking mind at the house with a baby and having to feed it and fucking diapers and all this nonsense. You know what I mean? Legitimately,
dude,
right?
straight up, like one of the most weird things to watch is a pregnancy. Like either a C-section or
I
even
don't need this. I don't need
proper
this.
birth.
I'm a female.
Dude.
I don't need this in my life right now. I don't need
Like,
this. Please
but
do
like
not.
it's true.
Please
I
do
mean, it's
not.
real
Please do
though.
this.
I mean,
Please
I'm
do not.
sorry. Do
Please
you
do
not know how big? If you don't know how wide you
I
have to
don't
have
want this in my life. I don't want this. Okay, I don't want this in my life right now.
Okay,
right?
but yeah, no,
Thank
of course.
you.
But
last year,
Thank you.
I watched it twice in a
Jesus.
month. Right, twice in a month, legit. Like
Woo.
May 8th and May 28th, I had fucking 2 sons last year. Right, I had to sit in a motherfucking waiting room or sit in the fucking hospital room watching my kids get pushed out of vaginas and shit twice.
Jesus,
right? You know what I mean? Right, like yo, watch the motherfucking like the fucking the water break and all the fucking like the girls poop on the motherfucking sheet and shit. It's fucking crazy. Legit.
Yeah,
That's baby's first pillow is a turd.
Yep.
Hold on. Not every baby has a turd. Most people, some babies come out just, out of the stomach itself. Dude, I swear, I do not want to imagine like the pain of a C-section.
No,
Dude, supposedly the woman is like fully conscious and aware of like what the fuck is going on.
Are you like legit? Are you tied for life after you see a C-section though?
Yes, 100%.
Are you like you won't leave her right after you see a C-section? You're like, all right,
man,
bitch.
listen, yo, look.
I mean, I'm sorry if I see my wife going through a C-section. Straight up, I'm with her to the day I die. Like that bitch is tough.
How do you leave a bitch after that? Like
that bitch is tough.
I'll be real.
Bitch, right?
I'll be real. She threw me the fuck out, and then like I woke up with this 23-year-old Southern Alabama, blue-eyed, blonde-haired motherfucker female riding my dick.
The blue eyes, man. The blue eyes.
And I was like, my wife was like, come home, and I was just like, I can't. Like, I fucking can't. Like, yo, should have called me yesterday. You know what I mean?
Respect for you, man. A little bit of respect.
Hey, let me back up and talk to Underdog real quick. All right. So step one is mate selection. If you're a young man and you feel like you're on the trajectory where you can financially afford to raise a family comfortably, then it comes to style. And what I suggest first is get a book on child development and child rearing and child psychology and decide what kind of parent you're going to be, because that will then help determine how to pick a mate, because you don't want to be battling, your co-parent at all times, at all stages, over all things. It's fucking miserable. You got to be on the same page, like psychologically, about how you're going to go about raising kids. Communication.
100%.
Look, it'll make your life a lot easier if you do it, and you'll be living in hell if you just go out and usually what happens is you end up just kind of settling for the first bro that's willing to bang you on the regular, and then she decides to get pregnant because her clock is ticking, and the next thing you know, you're married, doing the right thing, and it works out okay at first, and then it just ends up in resentment, and the cycle repeats. It's got to be done with more purpose to be successful.
Yeah, there's just too many fucking families that literally are just there to have a kid, and then once that kid's out of the house, they divorce. Like that's what happened to my family.
You gotta bro your way in.
Shouldn't even be out of the house anymore.
Got to get all brolic in this bitch, right?
That's also boomy. That's a fucking boomer mentality. Like, oh, show up to work, stop telecommuting.
You got a dick slapper hard enough.
Yeah, no, like right after, like my sister's about to graduate high school here pretty soon, and like straight up, like once that happens, like my mom and my dad are like most likely gonna straight up divorce. Upon from what I know about my mom and my dad is that they don't like each other. Like they have lost like any form of like love that they've had for each other. So it's one of those things where it's like, just be better than that, right? You want to be there for your kids, just period. And if you are like having conflict with your wife or a conflict with your significant other, you're gonna see issues where you're not there for your kid, you're just there for your wife.
All right. Let me put this this way too, right? So like let me put this, because this is kind of important, right? Like when it comes to relationships, I've been in a lot of fucking relationships with females, right? The most important thing for the both of you, like back and forth, is sex. Quite literally. Yep. Right, like you have to be attracted to one another, and
but okay, all right.
And not just like wait a minute. You have to want. You have
sex
to
is
want
not
to
the number one thing,
each
though.
other.
I know you're on it. I know you're on it.
It is. Look. I hate to say this. I hate to say this, but
you said long term. So I'm like, sex is important.
Look, I hate to say this, but if you literally. But if we're gonna talk about like a stable long-term relationship, consistent intercourse is what makes a good long-term relationship.
But he's talking about longevity. So if you're even gonna have longevity, you have to have, of course, attraction.
Yeah, that's why that's why when people marry,
it's like you're like, oh well, I have to be with this bitch.
But isn't that's the reason why the boomers have led to the failure of the millennial culture? Like we have led a group of the boomers have literally made a group of people that are basically only there to be like, hey, look, this is what my parents did. I don't want to be my parents, because their parents literally, and I quote, had kids at their 30s and stopped having an actual relationship after that.
He was talking about his generation.
All right, so like, all right, do you know what a simulacra is?
Simulacrum?
Yes.
Simulacrum.
What?
Simulacra. Southern girls. You
know simulacra?
Yeah, simulacra.
You're gonna have to spell that. I'm an English teacher.
Simulacra. Simulacra.
Yeah, I know of the word, but you're gonna have to provide a definition.
Yeah, okay. That's
all
not
right.
a
So
word.
basically,
okay.
it is a word, right? It's
a word.
It's an art term, right?
No, it is. It is a word.
Yeah, fucking. So like, the Matrix was a simulacra of Nietzschean fucking ideologies, right?
Yes.
All right. So basically, you have a simulation, right? Which is like basically it is a 1-to-1 or 1-to-16 or whatever it is. Like it's a direct copy of what the fuck it is you're trying to make, right? Of what it is you're interpreting. Like if you see something, then you make a copy of it, like, but it's like a different size or whatever. Or like if you see like NFL football games, like Madden is a simulation of like fucking NFL football on a video.
Okay.
Yeah, and therefore for example, like a element of that would be a simulacra. Right.
Yeah, all right. Wait. So now, if you take an interpretation of something, instead of like a motherfucking actual copy, it's a simulacra. And what we've done is we've taken old ideas of fucking relationships from like the 50s and the 40s, or like from back in like the motherfucking like the fucking 1820s or whatever it is, and created simulacras of what they are. Right. And that's where we are today, is like
it's an imitation of an imitation.
Yeah, it's an imitation of what it is, but it's not a direct copy, right?
And the problem is that we just need to make our own families. Like we need to find our own ways of raising our own kids in the modern world, because the problem
we need to stop trying to copy what they did back in the day, because like that shit is not.
See, but that's bullshit.
No,
that's the most bullshit ideology we have. But
no. The problem is like we're not actually like copying what they did, right? It's like a fucking it's an interpretation of a copy,
which is bullshit.
Right? It's an interpretation of a copy, but like we're only getting like bits and pieces, right? It's like if somebody called you and described a car to you over the phone, and then you drew the picture of the car while he was describing it to you, right? Yeah, it would look nothing like the goddamn car that fucking like he's actually looking at.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Copy.
So
right.
I think the best way to base it is like this, right? We are living in a world where we try to like look at the old way of raising kids and think that's implicit of every facet of life throughout history, right? It's the same reason why I would think communism doesn't work in the modern era. It's facet of an old ideology and an old economic structure, right? Where things were more implicit and more more direct.
Yeah.
Well, debatable, but that's beside the point.
Okay.
We can't perform socialism in the modern setting because we don't have factories really anymore. We have a tech industry that is beyond the facet of factories, right?
We can't use. I gotcha. We can't use the old.
But our
style.
tech industry. Yeah, but our tech industries are a simulacra of the old factory warehouse type method. You see where I'm getting at?
A whole new thing, right? But like, so like the basic premise is that like, so
we're trying to apply the old world to the new world.
But when you're looking at like Puritan or Quaker or Outland, like Scotland, Ireland, fucking people who settled this place, right, and had like good experiences with their families and being together and all these type of things. You can't copy what they did because you're not getting a full picture, right? Because like back then, like they literally they had 10 fucking kids, right? And they all survived. It's a crazy thing, right? It wasn't like they were dying. Like they all fucking made it, right? But like the reason they had 10 kids is because they were fucking.
We were fucking because the female.
No. Okay, this goes back to the claim that was made earlier, right? You were saying that sex is not a important aspect of a relationship. We are literally saying it is, and the reason why many cultures thrive or survived was not because they were able to love or whatever. No, it was because they fucked each other to death, like literally. Like
there wasn't much fun stuff to do back then. It's pretty much all.
It was pretty fun to fuck your partner after. It's pretty fun.
Look. Yeah. The reason why my family is here is the reason why my family is even a thing is not like Native Americans are thriving in only one aspect. They have kids, right? I have cousins in their 40s. I have nephews.
Okay.
I have nephews that are older than me. This is something that happens within Native families. They are expansive. They have kids.
It happens with ours too.
Italians, Mexicans, blacks, they're all the same way. They have kids. White culture is going to die, not because of it being not because of it.
Okay.
So yeah, they don't have kids as often.
Whites don't have kids because white females. Okay, we more frequently prescribe to Western medicine, which means birth control, which you take over like 10.
Except that birth control was tailored tailored as a eugenics project against the black culture.
Not wrong.
It was, and so because the majority of the population was white, so you get white females. All right, I'm just speaking of myself, by the way. So yeah. So you're 17, 18, you get given birth control. You're 17, 18. Okay. They're like, oh, you don't have kids, right? You want to control your birth? Yeah, sure. Of course I do. So I'm in college. I'm going to have birth control. So that they give you that shit. Sorry, I have a red healer. She's a bitch.
Healer's great.
Underdog, son, you do not sound dumb. You sound like a 23-year-old, and it's. Believe me. All right. So let me address this.
Underdog.
You wish, Grandma.
Right. Let me address.
I'm sorry.
Right? Okay. Southern girl. Thank you. Right. Let me address this because this is really important. Look. So the reasons why, like, your wife was not your best friend ever in a fucking relationship is because you used to have dudes like me you can come talk to.
I never had a wife. I never had a wife. My wife?
Let me finish my point.
Wife?
Right.
Not talking to you, Southern girl.
Right. The reasons why, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to make like your wife your best friend and all these type of things, right? Is because of the fact that like you and your wife are a different relationship altogether than you and your friends, right? And like you used to have guys like me or Mountain or fucking Fire Owl even, right? That would be at your local pub or at your fucking.
Wait, are you talking to me?
I'm talking to Underdog. I'm talking Underdog.
I'm sorry. Right? I'm sorry. I was just asking.
And so, Southern girl.
Right. And so, like, literally, you had a chance to sit here and be able to, go and like talk to these guys about these type of problems. And I love addressing this for you. This is honest to God. This is like literally like my favorite thing to do in life is to help individuals around me and help them like and guide them through life. It's why I love being a dad. It's why I love, you know what I'm saying, being a big homie. It's why I love doing this. This is why I started this channel.
You know what?
Like my first videos on this channel are on this type of shit.
You know what? I wanted to bring something up, right? We were talking about the identity of what makes a man and a woman, right? I can already tell you what makes the identity of a man. Period, point blank. It is wanting to help other men, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, like it's part of it, right? And I mean, it's most definitely part of it. But like, you know, you have to earn your way up. There's stripes, right? But like, literally, like, this is underdog legit. We're always the fuck around. You just got to ping us. You know, what I mean, like I'm usually sleep between like the hours of like 6 a.m. and like 1 p.m. But other than that, I'm usually around. You can ping me and motherfucking holler at you at any point. You know what I mean? If I'm not like busy fucking a bitch, you know what I mean, or doing whatever the fuck it is I'm doing. But like usually I'm around. I'm always there to motherfucking like if you need fucking like advice or you need like guidance, you need somebody like even just to bounce some shit off of and get some like work it out in your own head, which is what I do with y'all a lot of the times. It's me working my shit. You know what I mean? Like out in my own fucking head. This is therapy for me. You know what I mean? Like being able to talk to guys like Mountain is amazing for me, right? Because he's an older gentleman who's been through more shit than I have. And, you know what I mean? Like is, you know what I mean, around kind of the same culture that I have. And like being able to talk to Southern Girl is fucking great because like I have a chance to like get perspectives on from individuals that I'm not usually able to talk to because like females are usually retarded around me. You know, and like Fire Out's a Native American, so his culture allows me to be able to have a different fucking viewpoint.
Yeah, and I mean, and even then, it's like I would say that like when we're discussing like being a good man, right? You have to understand like humility is the biggest thing, right? Mm-hmm. You're not going to be the best father in your eyes, but you want to know something that doesn't matter to your kid. Your kid thinks you're the best regardless. And that's what you need to remember. Just make sure that your kid is happy. That's all you need to do, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, believe me. Like, yo, look, man, being a dad is awesome. It's fun. Like, yo, most of the fucking time, like, it's not like what they portray in some fucking stupid TV thing. We're like, oh my God, how do you change a diaper?
Yeah, I'm gonna fight back on that. It's not about making your kid happy because that leads to child obesity and shit like that. It's about
okay. You got what it came out, and you understood what I meant.
Let me clear it up. Well, no, I'm gonna fucking just clear it up. It's not about you. I'm just trying to put some vocabulary to use here. Right?
Okay.
It's about using all the various opportunities your children give you to teach them shit, where the end result is you're guiding them to being a well-adjusted person.
Or
that's good.
Sharing your culture.
It may not always be, the thing you have to do to be the good parent isn't always making them smile and be happy. You know, like if they think that what they want to do is eat like a bag of Snickers to be happy in that minute, you're saying to yourself, nah, hold up, that's no good. So they may tantrum on you and they're not happy in that moment, but you're doing the right thing.
I mean, like Halloween, you can let them eat that bag of Snickers. All right.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like,
always remember, just remember one thing and one thing only. If the mother tells your kid that they are, if your mother does what my mother did and compare me to a goddamn murderous stepson, then the mother's a fucking failure, and you need to be there for
your mother's a whore.
Yes.
This was my original point. How do you end up in that position? You end up in that position by impregnating a stranger without having any predetermined, kind of. You didn't determine how you want to raise your kid in the first place, and you didn't engage in mate selection. That's what it all comes down to.
Ironically enough, yes, I would say that my mom and my dad are not happy. They don't collaborate with each other.
And here's where people fuck up a lot, like almost everybody, right? The common thing is to say, well, how do I attract a better woman? How do I attract a better man? Blah, blah, blah. No. The question to ask yourself is, how do I become the best version of myself so that I can eliminate all the potential nightmare fucking mates out there? Because you will end up getting a mate that you deserve on your level.
Okay, so here's
and you can't play yourself.
Let's keep this 102, right? Like, it's also important that like you don't get comfortable, right, in your relationship. Like, you don't want to get
why are you comfortable? Sloppy. But why is comfortable not a thing you're looking for?
Because you want to be Yeah, your bitch is not gonna want to fuck you anymore if you're fucking
Yeah,
fat. and
be
your dick shrinks up.
be
No,
flexible.
I'm very comfortable.
Be
And I
flexible.
still want to fuck
No.
my husband. So that's
Be
what I'm
flexible.
saying. Like,
No, you are comfortable. He is not. He
no,
needs to be
he's very
flexible.
comfortable. Believe me, he's very comfortable.
Is he fat? Is your
No,
husband
he's
fat?
not.
Then
No, he's
therefore
not.
he's not comfortable. There we go. Like he's
like,
working.
so, like,
He's
all right,
flexible.
once
Yeah,
you're
he works
married,
the
all right. So
fuck-
here's the thing: like, once you're married in a long-term
God.
relationship and shit, right? What ends up happening is she's like, "Oh man, I got this chick, I ain't got to worry about motherfucking like whatever," and you just go to work and you put that shit on auto drive and you fucking start putting that work in to pay off bills and like cars and fucking all the shit you have to do, right? Right. So like, like, yo, but here's the thing, underdog, you don't skip days because like you're not getting laid right now. Right. Like, yo, in the morning when you wake up and like she, has like your dick in her mouth, like fucking
Oh,
that
nice.
day you're gonna want to skip
Nice
motherfucking
imagery.
work.
Nice
That workout.
imagery. There you go. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. And
I hate to
is
say this.
kind of the point, right? Like you
Holy
might
fuck.
end like, yo, like it just leads into this shit where you're like, all right, man, I don't want to work out today. I don't want to do this. I don't have to
Yeah,
do this.
no, because you got the bitch.
Basically,
'Cause then you
basically
have
it's
her.
it's this
You have her.
mindset, right? You're gonna have days where like because like I'm around your age, underdog. Like I can actually tell you this. If you haven't gotten to this already, you will, right? You're gonna have days where you just don't want to get up out of bed. And you're just gonna have to tell yourself, get the fuck up, you lazy piece of shit.
Right.
Like
It's not just that. Also, like you got to remember, you're not just going to be like cooking for like one person anymore. You're going to be cooking for like 3, right? And like so, you're
No,
gonna
why
have
would you have
leftovers, right? And you're
to?
gonna you're gonna want to like have things that are like easy to make, right? That
Why
are
would you-
heavy in fucking
Wait a
carbs,
minute.
right?
Wait a minute.
Oh no, my
Okay.
dad cooked for 5, and he was
I know.
bomb
but
ass cook,
underdog-
great
Okay,
enchiladas.
wait a minute.
No, me too. I'm fucking
very
slamming cook.
confused.
I'm saying like I cook for like fucking 10, right? But that's
Yeah,
not
but that
the
was
fucking point,
okay.
right?
I'm sorry. Underdog. Underdog. Can I talk to you? Underdog. Hey, underdog. Are you there?
Go ahead, man.
All right. How
Just-
many
just-
people are you
he's-
cooking for
he's-
right now? How many people are you having to fucking look after right now?
How
You?
many people? What?
How many people are you having to look after right now? You?
Just by himself. He's by himself, right?
Okay.
But anyway,
So he doesn't have to think about fucking 3. He doesn't have to think about fucking 2, right? So, yeah, if he finds a chick and he can fucking better and he's, she wants to fucking suck him off and all that, then yeah, he's having to think about that.
Well,
but y'all are like
hold up.
talking to him-
We're forgetting a
y'all are
very
talking
important
to him
aspect
like he
here.
has a fucking kid. Y'all are like, oh, you gotta
No.
wake up and deal with
No,
3.
hold on.
You gotta deal with 4.
Hold on. We're
No,
giving
that
we're
motherfucker
giving him
can wake up and deal
we're
with
giving him
1.
advice. We're giving him advice,
Well,
dude, when
okay,
he wants to
you're
have
dude.
kids, right?
right.
Well,
And
yeah,
his
but
sex,
he
and his
can't have
sex
Also,
every
we're
day
also
is
we're
amazing.
first.
forgetting.
Okay.
Also,
So,
we're
like,
forgetting a
here's-
very big
Have
aspect.
bed
He's
bitch first.
look. He may be he may be making 82 million, but where is he making this money at?
You're
Because
talking to
where
him
you
like he has a
raise your
kid
kids.
already, dude.
No,
You're talking to him-
he doesn't. No. I'm
Oh my
not saying he
God.
has a kid. I'm just saying like if he.
You are.
Where's he raising his kids
You
at?
are though.
No,
You are though. You're
we're
like,
just telling
oh,
him what the struggles of being or what the struggles of being a father is. That's all we're doing.
If I were him, okay, he's silent right now because we're talking to him like he's a fucking 12-year-old. But what I'm saying
No,
is,
because he's texting in comments
okay,
within
I'm not
YouTube.
looking at it. But I'm just saying, all right, maybe I sound like a fucking bitch motherfucker. But I'm just saying, like, y'all,
You can't do.
you already have a kid and you got a bitch ass fucking wife who doesn't give a fuck about you. Blah.
No. Okay, we're not saying that this is what's happening.
You are though. Like,
No,
you're-
we're not. No, we're literally just talking to him and telling him like what the responsibilities of being an
Oh my
adult.
god!
Father.
Oh
I'll
my
say it.
god! It just totally sounds like that right now. Like, you're
Here's what typically happens in a long-term marriage, right?
okay, all right. Help me out.
The girl will start shit testing the guy. The guy will start to abandon his macho ways.
Yeah, I don't know
over
what
time.
that means. Yeah.
And just start to capitulate to her demands.
Fucking
At which
bitch.
point
Fuck
she
that
gets to
bitch.
dismiss him sexually.
I hate these.
And once a woman stops having sex with a man, he starts
Yeah.
to resent every little fucking thing, and it's a death spiral of the relationship.
She should.
Oh yeah.
She should.
This happens so often.
I don't understand that, man. We
Okay,
didn't
well,
do
hold on.
this. We didn't
Hold
do
on.
this.
I have a good question here. right?
Yeah.
We're talking about how much money he has. We're talking about when he wants to have kids. That's all granted all, right? But let's recall, like, there are kids you want to raise kids in, and there are kids you don't want to raise kids in. You don't want to raise a kid in a place like Los Angeles, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington.
Sure.
You don't. You don't. So I want to ask him. I want to ask him if he can answer this. Where is he going to be raising this kid at?
He's gonna be raising the kid like up, I think, in Minnesota or some shit. But anyway, right? So like,
I feel like an asshole.
Here's
Like I'm a
here's the
boomer
thing.
asshole.
All right. So like, here's the thing.
I'm
All right,
an
let me put this.
asshole
All right. So
Such
first
an
off,
asshole.
stop
Such an
talking for a
asshole.
second, shorty. Hang on, stop talking for a second.
Fucking asshole.
Right. All right. So like, yes, is sex every day really real? Okay.
Such an asshole. Yeah.
Question is, right, like, what is your sex drive?
It's
Right.
like,
That's about
a
you.
chicken,
That's
like,
not.
peeing
That's
with
not
her head
like so
out.
much.
I'm
Man,
such-
listen. Why are you still talking?
I'm sorry.
Right. Like, yo. So like the question is like, what is your sex drive? Like, are you super attracted to her? And if you are, you know what I mean, and she's really attracted to you, then yeah, like sex every day is an absolutely real thing, like 100%, right? You know, I know she's drunk. I watched her pour another fucking glass for herself, right? So like if you're raising your kids up there in like Minneapolis, that type of shit, right? It probably wouldn't be, you know what I mean, like too terrible as far as shit's concerned. Like there's plenty of fucking places to fish and hang out and be outdoors. And I think that's something that you should do. Like, and I don't know what your relationship was with your dad. I'm assuming it's good since like you're, you know what I mean, dating a chick who's a virgin and you're debating on these type of things, right? You probably had a really decent relationship with your parents, or I don't know if your parents are even alive. I have no idea, right? But like outside structure is important. You know what I mean? Her parents, your parents, you know what I mean? That type of shit. Underdog, I don't know, man. Like, yo, these are mentalities in your head. If you feel like she's the one, and like, you know what I mean, whether or not it's, you know, like you standing here, you know, like really, how do I put this? You know, really wanting to get off because like you blue balled as fuck. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. Like legit, I'm not sure where like you are in your mental. That's not you. You have to decide that. But like, I'll be real, I wouldn't wait like too much longer because like virgins are not like a, you know what I mean, like they're a fucking hot commodity. You know what I mean? It's not
grow some confidence.
Yeah, they're not easy to find. Legit.
They're a fairy tale. They don't exist.
Well,
obviously I was about to say, obviously they exist if Underdog found one.
By the way, a lot of girls will play the loophole game where they say, "Well, I'm technically a virgin," because all they do is butt stuff.
Oh God, I hate that shit so much.
That's legit. They do that a lot.
Man, listen, like
And-
I'll be
and-
real,
and
like
believe it.
my new female asked me to do that shit for her. I ain't done it yet. I'm trying to like, you know what I mean, like spread out the, you know what I mean, you know, fucking like experiences and whatnot. You know,
Dude,
I'm kind of
the
doing
fact
studies
that
right now.
butt stuff is a thing is so bizarre to me. And I know I'm 41, but I'm not that old. Like that is a bizarre term to me. Like
I'm sorry, but if you were born in the 80s, like you say you are,
Yeah.
butt stuff was a thing.
Yeah, butt stuff's
Okay.
been around for
It's
ages.
been a
You know,
thing
historians say that
forever.
everyone's had a butt.
Quit. Like I was a very good girl. Like we didn't. I'm just saying. Like
But you were.
but we didn't know that term. Is what I'm trying to say. Is we didn't. That.
Yo, that's.
I'm sorry,
that's because of
you
where
haven't been to
grew up.
Atlanta,
That has very. Yo, look, we had the same thing where I come from. Like, I'll be real.
No.
Like, I'm gonna keep this all the way honest with you. I didn't do any butt shit with a female until after I was 30, and I ran into one who really liked it.
No, man. We were a little innocent. Like we really were. Believe
Yeah,
it or
like
not.
in the 80s, you gotta remember in the 80s, we all grew up with, you know what I mean, like the Christian fucking conservative shit.
The
49.
AIDS scare.
Super heavy. You know what I mean?
I graduated during the AIDS scare. There was limited butt stuff.
Okay.
Mhm.
We're in 1980, right? So that's very bizarre to even hear. I was like, my parents were Methodists, so we were very conservative. But
Well, of
no,
course, you grew up in the Bible Belt. That makes sense.
yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I wasn't like a super, you know. But I'm just saying, like, butt stuff. Like, you didn't.
You do understand. You do understand that Christians get away with that shit all the time because it's not technically being a virgin. You're just, you know,
Yeah.
fucking it in the
It's
ass.
a loophole.
That's
It's
how
kind of like
Christians do it.
soaking. You ever hear that soaking shit where they get a third friend to jump up and down on the bed?
Kind of
Yes,
They're
exactly.
fooling God. Hey, we're not fucking. I'm just soaking. Yeah, that's the ticket.
Okay, I've done fucking all kinds of shit. What I'm trying to say is, when I was that age, it was very bizarre to hear that term. I'm fucking 41. Okay, I've been married 20 years. I understand. Oh,
Look, my grandfather did butt stuff.
yeah. There's all kinds of butt stuff. If you
He
want
died. He's a World War II veteran.
he died doing butt stuff.
No, he
Yeah,
didn't die doing butt stuff.
And he was doing it during the Bush era, if you know what I mean.
Says he died doing
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got a plaque, right? He's got like a
yeah. He on his grave it says, "I died doing what I love, butt stuff."
Oh my god, you're like my kind of person. Yeah, he died doing butt stuff. Is
God damn it.
I mean, like, so here's the thing, right? Like, so as I got older, and I started dating like other females, like after after my wife and shit, after I got divorced, like, and I was like, running through like this briar patch of, what I'm saying, like horrible females. Like, I ran into one who had like a really lazy eye. Like, one eye was looking at me, the other one was looking at the camera and shit. Right?
Oh shit!
That's hot.
You
And,
got
like,
a lazy eye, bitch.
right?
Holy
We used to call her like Google.Chrome.
Holy
right?
fuck! No, you did not. Do not tell me this, Tom.
Yeah.
Do not tell me this.
And
Oh
like,
my
yo, this
God.
chick, so like,
Oh
like, yo,
my
she
God.
had a bad little body on her. Like, yo, she was sexy as shit. Right. But she had like all those like piercings in her face. I made her
Holy
take the piercings
fuck.
out because I'll be real, like they hurt my dick.
Holy
But like,
shit, dude.
fucking like, yo, she switched from pussy to asshole like mid-stroke. You know what I'm saying? Like, while she was riding me.
Why is
Like,
that
it
a bad
was fucking
thing?
crazy.
Is it?
Yo, she
Why was it a bad
she was
thing?
Probably
though?
should get a
fucking
UTI.
professional, right?
Was
Eh.
it? Was it because you weren't married or what?
Not my
Why
problem.
were you disappointed? Like, what was it?
I wasn't disappointed. You know what I mean? Like, yo,
Okay.
she went from pussy to asshole mid-stroke, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, while she was riding me, like she came up, just switched it in, and like it's like she was throwing the car in gear. You know what I mean? It was fucking crazy and shit. But like, yo, you don't really
That's
run into these
hilarious.
type of females until like you get older, because like they all have to like find some dude who really likes butt stuff. You know what I mean? And then like he has
Well,
to
yeah.
plan
If
the
you're
fuck
not,
out,
that's
you know
what
I
I'm
mean?
saying. That's why you gotta have a fucking wifey. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't do that unless you have a wife. Like, if your wife does that, yeah. But if she's
No. Like females on dating
she was
sites,
doing
like,
it without like commitment, like
I
what
mean,
the fuck?
dude. Okay, look, Southern girl, gotta understand. You'd be surprised how kinky the modern day white girl is.
How about this? I met a chick at an old job. I used to work at the tolls. I asked for a number. She texted me back, "I'm actually into ass stuff. If that's cool with you." I said, "Sure, why not?"
Bleh. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
Dude, modern day
girl?
white dude, modern day white chicks will literally throw on a dildo and
No, she
peg a
was
man in the
No
ass.
way. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
See, you know what? I'm ashamed of my race. I'm
Like
ashamed of my fucking race.
after 50 Shades of what the fuck, all these chicks want to be beaten with a bedazzled spatula and shit, and hit
there's
with
Oh,
no
like
shame.
fucking
Yeah,
newspapers.
I was
Yeah.
before all that. That's
They want to
fucking
do
bullshit, dude.
WWE shit done to their pussies.
Yeah, they want to tie it up.
WWE.
I mean, I'm sorry, but straight up, like, I'm sorry, but straight up, BDSM is it's just assault.
fucking awesome.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
why
That's just
would
my.
you? Unless it's someone that you've like. I'm so
No.
disappointed in my
Haymaker and
wife.
the babe
Fucking,
maker.
so disappointed in my wife.
Yo, look,
fucking
I'll be
females,
real.
dude.
I'll be real with you. Like, yo, y'all white chicks, like, I'll be honest, man. Y'all be like,
Oh, don't
fuck-
say
you be
y'all
like,
white
fuck me,
chicks.
smack
I'm
me,
not
poke
part
me,
of these
hit me,
bitches.
like, yo, stab me, choke me, and I'm like, bitch, I got two
Well,
hands. We need some more niggas,
Dude.
in here, like legit.
Oh,
Dude,
yo,
seriously.
Say that
hold
to your
on.
husband.
Seriously.
You don't
I
say
had
that
a-
shit.
Seriously, when I was in Seattle, I was actually dating this white chick, right? And at first, it was like, oh, just like she was just a chill. She was just a chill girl. And then I realized she was into BDSM, and I was just like, and like the first thing she wanted me to do was straight up, she wanted me to pick up a fucking whip and literally just whack her. And I'm like, yep, nope, goodbye, I'm done.
Yo,
I
But
had
she
a-
was
I had
into-
a
okay, so
stripper
how long
start
did you
choking
date
I
me.
want to
her?
hear. I want to hear Florida Man story. Wait, I want to hear Florida
Yeah,
Man story.
I want to
See,
hear it. I want to hear
I was
it.
fucking this one
Yeah.
chick, and out of nowhere, she just starts to choke me mid fucking. I was like, oh, no, I'm good. I'm not into that.
Dude,
Yeah,
I hate it
no
when
way.
they scratch I hate it when they scratch, dude. That fucking shit.
Yo, me too.
Dude.
I used to take this. The Google.Chrome chick. I used to take her fingers and put them on the wall, so it's like she called the paint off and shit. Right? You know
Oh yeah, no, they draw blood too.
Oh
like,
yeah,
they're crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. One time, I actually bit into this girl's neck, and I thought, let me see how hard I can bite into her neck before she says stop, and she didn't ever. I could have.
Wait, did you draw? Wait, did you literally draw blood, and she did not tell you to stop?
I almost did, but I stopped. I'm like, this chick would have let me go all the way. Holy shit.
Yo,
dude, like seriously.
Right now, the female I'm fucking right now, she has bruises all over her thigh.
Fucking ridiculous. See, that's what
dude, like straight up, like straight up, dude. Like white chicks are insane.
Putting the onus back on you, males. Okay, so as males, why would you let a female go into this level of
I don't. I'll tell them straight up.
I'm trying to figure out a way to make this positive. All right.
Dude,
so
I literally tell my chick straight up, I'm not doing this shit. Like,
yo, look. Yeah, yo, it's like licking your girl's booty hole. If you don't do it, somebody else is gonna. Legit.
Yeah, and I'll be happy to let some other fucking guy do it straight up. Like I'm not gonna just. I'm sorry.
Black and blues on her leg, and you're like, "What's that?" She's like,
dude. Like the idea is as follows, right? You are as an individual need to understand that.
Yeah, but you don't want her to be an individual, right? You want her to be yours, right? You want her to be.
Fire out your fucking robot, nigga. Anyway, right? Like that, legit. Like these females today, they're like fucking crazy. Like yo, they like all types of bananas, crazy nonsense and shit. Like,
but they're looking to you for leadership. Like I actually told my husband this the other day. I was like, okay, well, we're trying to do a diet. We're trying to, stop doing this or that. I'm like, but you understand? Like, I want to do this or that. I'm not trying to put like pressure on you, but I do look to you for leadership. He was like, I know you do. And so I know I need to be the one to take the first step to do this or that.
Dude, tell that to the women in Seattle, like straight up, like they
Seattle.
really
Get
don't
the fuck
care.
out of Seattle. Why are you in
Dude,
Seattle?
I'm no longer in Seattle.
Get the fuck out of there, man. Like go to a place where women are like, hey, I want to follow you. Can you just lead me? You just lead me? It's the greatest.
Right. I mean, like I be telling females, I'm like, yo, look, like I'm gonna initiate it like a lot of the times. You know what I'm saying? But there's gonna be times where like you need to motherfucking like, yo, handle what the fuck you have to handle, and like, yo, do what you do. You know what I mean? Right. But like, yo, it is what it is. You're like, I'm the dude, like, yeah, I'm gonna motherfucking set the pace.
Yeah.
Stand here and like dictate what it is that they're doing, because like I'll be honest, I'm not interested in doing carpentry to fuck a chick. You know what I mean? I don't want to be building swings and motherfucking like, trying to like fucking learn how to tie knots and shit.
Yeah, no, like
why are you tying knots?
Straight up. No, because that's what these white chicks are into nowadays.
They want you to tie a knot, like a boy knot.
Dude, they want you to tie. They want you to tie them up in a way to where all they can do is literally hang there, unable to do shit, and then they want you to fuck them.
Yo, here's what I did one time, right? So check it out. Here's what I did one time, right? Here's what I did one time. So I had this king size bed, and what I did was I took a bunch of clothes, fire out, nigga. Right, yo, your fucking shit is clicking really bad, right?
Yeah, it is clicking. Whoever that is, I don't know who's.
Right, there we go. We got it. All right. So like basically, like I took a bunch of clotheslines, I laid them right into bed, right? And like so, like I crisscrossed them, you know what I mean? And like fucking on the end of the fucking joints, I put like socks, so like you could like, you know what I mean? I tied like the ends of the socks, right? And then like I took those socks and I tied the chicks up, right? And so like basically like these females were like marionettes, where like if I lifted one leg, the fucking like the arm would come down. If I pushed the leg down, the arm would come up, right? You know what I'm saying, right?
Dude.
Yeah, like
dude.
Yeah.
That's fucking oh my god.
Right.
Like, that's fucking so ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, you gotta spice shit up sometimes, man.
Marionettes.
My wife is kinky as hell.
That's goddamn ridiculous.
Although over some years the butt stuff went away. Like
one
she was really
time
into it when we were younger.
It does get old. Like,
I had these two white
that
chicks
stuff
drive up
gets
to
old.
me.
No.
They pulled out a fucking like 15-inch dildo and told me, "Hey,
Oh.
my boyfriend stuck
Oh,
this up his
no.
ass. What do you think about that?"
Dude, one of my friends was dating this crazy like this girl was like an actual nudist. So like
Oh,
basically
Love
all she did was just go to beaches and want to fuck guys. Like that was all she wanted to do, right?
See,
And
the
dude,
second
she
part
literally
is the problem.
she literally told my friend who he was dating at the time, like, yo, hey, like I want you to put up this 18-inch dildo right up your ass. And if you can't do it, and if you can't do it at all, then there's no point where we should be dating.
Yeah,
Basically the problem with this is like if you're gonna be a man, you're gonna have to say, fuck you, I'm done.
You see, you need to marry a woman. Like, I've never said the word dildo or anything until I was married. All right. Until you're married, you don't need to say dildo or like,
look,
certain words you don't need to
14,
say. Like, it's just
I was
not
14
part of your
years old.
vocabulary. You just don't say those
I
words.
remember being 14 years old and this chick asked me to fuck her with a shotgun, right?
Oh my God.
Well, what end? Which end?
Yo, the loaded one.
Yeah,
The loaded one. God damn it. That girl's on something else.
Right. Yo, but here's the bitch. Here's the bitch. So like, you know, I put it in, right? You know what I'm saying?
Jesus Christ.
And then she's like, loaded.
Oh my God, Tom,
right?
I'm gonna throw up, dude. No, I don't need this in my life.
Right. And then she's like, cock it. And I'm like, no. Because like legitimately, like I'm gonna have to explain why this rich white bitch is missing the top half.
I love you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God.
Dude, that's gonna be that would be
You
a
would
very
literally
interesting
blow
call.
your load all over.
Dude, that would be a very interesting call to the police. Like,
Jesus
yeah,
Christ,
hey, I don't know how to explain this, but yeah, I put my shotgun up my girl's fucking JJ, and yeah, I accidentally discharged the weapon,
like,
and yeah, so her blood, her vagina's all over my
Are
wall.
y'all just like shooting the shit, or is this shit
happens.
that actually happens?
No, this actually happens, dude. Dude, white girls nowadays, they're geeky as shit.
Yeah.
And
right.
that's what pisses me off. White girls are fucking.
There was a dude that used to there was a Puerto Rican guy who used to make porn in my neighborhood. Right? Like he was like 16 or 17, so it wasn't like fucking. He was like an old head making young bitches, whatever, right? And he had like a porno of this chick, and she like took the vacuum cleaner and put like the handle up her vagina and the little the hook for the hose up her ass, and was like vacuuming the floor and shit.
Painful, fucking right? Jesus.
Like, yo, female is ridiculous.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
And dude, the gay community, dude, we're gonna talk about the goddamn fucking white women, dude. What about those white gay men, dude? Holy shit, do you understand how kinky they are? Dude, fucking dumbasses literally, oh my God, I can't even explain to you how insane they can get. Dude, there were stories that I've heard.
Women, because women make me feel like
so basically I watched a show, I watched a show recently where this is like an actual kink, by the way, like no joke, what I'm about to describe is an actual kink. There's an actual show that just came out called there's a show called The Boys, right? Basically they're in season 3, and in the first episode of season 3 what happened was probably one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen. Basically the idea is that this guy is like the Ant-Man equivalent of this universe, and he shrinks down to the point where he could actually fit inside the guy's urethra and basically like tickle inside the urethra and try to actually tickle the prostate. And then like it actually, the funny part about it is that he explodes after he sneezes in the guy, and he grows to regular size. Like, dude, this is an actual kink, by the way. Like, fucking dude, people like I don't know what it is with like white feministic people. They are genuinely like absolute sex fiends.
Have a woman's
They want to be dominated by a man, I guess. That's just what it is. Like,
yo,
really
I've been banging this chick for 2 weeks. I've been banging this chick for 2 weeks, and she keeps asking me to like shoot it on her face. Right? Legit. Like, yo.
How old is she?
33.
Like, what's her
right?
How many partners has she had?
Oh,
You know what I mean?
God,
So-
you'll never know. You'll never know that, man. Come on.
People need to realize that white women nowadays, there was so many guys you shouldn't even ask. Like it's hundreds, if not
easily
thousands.
triple digits. Easily triple digits.
Easily
Yeah,
triple
see,
digits,
that's what
not
I'm saying,
if
like-
not quadrudigits.
Yo, it used to be you give a chick a 10-dick curve. Now you just give her like a power of 3.
See, that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
me and my husband, all right, I'll just give you this very, very limited point of view. All right. So me and my husband met each other when we were like 22, 23. So we had very limited like prior sexual experiences. And we've been together ever since. So like, yeah, there's going to be certain, talk and all that. But when you talk about like people who talk to each other that way or mention those things, like
What up, Pam?
it's like, why are you talking about those things? It's
You're on the other side of the
because-
fence completely. You're not
because-
even in that.
It's very
world of
personal.
reality.
Like, why would you
it's
talk
like,
about
dude,
that?
it's like this, right?
You're
Like
talking about the
they're
singles market. That's not where you're
Yeah,
at. So
why would you
don't know.
talk about that? That's
like, dude, the
very
problem,
personal.
the problem with like dating in the modern era is like there is no normal anymore. Like
Like
everybody
they have
is.
a lot of partners.
Oh, dude, that's the problem. Like we have
A
a sex
lot.
crave culture where nobody wants to have a fucking kid.
What up, bro?
And like,
Yeah.
And you know
But
what happens
even if
is
there
you
was a
can't
one
pair
that wanted
bond
to have
anymore.
a kid, could you have a kid with them because you don't know how many other sexual partners they've had?
Well, of course you can,
That's
but they
my
can't pair
question.
bond with
Like-
you. So are you familiar with pair bonding at all? Like, is this a new concept?
Parabonding?
Pair bonding. Pair
Parabonding, so
like a pair.
meaning more than one. So two.
Yes.
I mean, I'm an English teacher, so I know what pair
pair
means. But
bonding is where
yeah,
the hormones and endorphins released from sex.
it sounds like some bullshit. It's
It's
not
some
really
bullshit.
natural.
It's
It
completely
sounds
real.
not natural.
It's completely natural. It's completely real. When you have sex, oxytocin is released.
Well, of course.
And for a
But-
female, she'll get very attached to the first person she has sex with. But as she
Oh,
increases
okay,
her
so
partners,
Gotcha.
sexual partners, after 3 or 4, her pair bonding ability just jumps off a cliff.
Why would
And
you have
after-
more than one
After
sexual
10,
partner?
after 5 sexual partners, a
Okay,
woman's
why?
ability to
No,
pair bond is
fuck,
basically
no,
destroyed.
I reject it. I reject it already.
Well,
all right.
that's the way it is.
There's only one real sexual partner you're gonna bond with. Okay, that's just how it works.
Your
But
hand?
if you're claiming there's
that
more
is
than one,
absolutely not true. Right? Legit.
no
like, yo,
bullshit,
not
bullshit. All right. As a
This is-
female,
This is why the
Um,
virginity is sacred, because it ensures that the relationship
I mean,
will
I
last
had
over
more
time.
than one after my virginity. I'm not saying I was like I had a virginity and it was just my virgin. No, I'm saying you're not going to have fucking 5. Oh, I'm pair bonding with 5 different individuals. I feel the total same for 5 different. No, that's not how a woman feels.
No, I know it wears off, and so when
Yeah, I can
by
fuck
the time
5
a girl
different people,
has
but
fucking
yeah.
100 partners, her ability to bond with a mate is over. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, it's not. That's why.
So when you ask the
I'm
question,
gonna
can you
get
go
18
ahead and
here.
impregnate this girl?
Now,
Yeah,
hold
you
up,
can get her
hold
pregnant
up,
physically,
hold up,
but will
hold
she
up.
bond
Show
with you?
reverence,
No,
show
probably not.
reverence to the big homie AP. What up, man?
What up, man?
Sorry.
Y'all out here
Sorry.
talking about what a woman
Sorry.
is?
Man, listen, like yo, we started off the conversation that way. Now we're kind of on some shit where
I'm
it's like
sorry.
we're telling stories. Did I tell you my most recent story about
Stories.
how like I accidentally fucking stole a sister wife?
Nah, man, but every time you tell a story, it's terrible. So go ahead and let that shit loose.
What are you in the Amish community now? What the
What did you do? You took a Mormon sister wife, man?
sister wife?
Yo, look, all right. So like I went up to the mountains
Holy
and like
fuck.
yo,
I gotta
fucking,
mute. All right.
I scooped up this chick from like this fucking trailer park or whatever, right? And I brought her back to the crib and we hanging out or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And like we got it in once, but like fucking, like we was in there chilling, just spending some time, whatever. Right. Just got done eating, and like I get a knock at the door, and outside is like 15 motherfucking people. Her whole family came to my motherfucking crib looking for this bitch, right? And like they all like fucking highly upset because like I stole their sister wife and shit, right? Like, yo, and I ended up having to pull the motherfucking 12 gauge out to get these motherfuckers to fuck off my goddamn porch and shit. It's fucking
Yo, man,
crazy.
that's a cartoon waiting to happen. You need to like not tell that story and write it all down and do the next white trash no state around that shit.
I might.
what I
We'll
would
see
do.
what happens. You know what I mean?
So did you have to? So what? Did you have to like unload on some Mormons? I mean, were they Mormons or were they Puritans? Like, what kind of sister wife are we talking about?
I have no fucking idea, to be perfectly honest with you. I have no clue. Like, I went and dropped this bitch off at a gas station. They tried to cut me off, and motherfucker was just like trying to surround my car and shit. I peeled the fuck out. I was like, yo, fuck this shit, bro. Like, man,
I'd have thrown the bitch out the window like the T-Rex baby in Jurassic Park 2 when them T-Rexes came looking for her. I've been like, sorry, bitch, you can't be bringing this much trouble to my house. I don't want to know.
Yo, I feel you. That was kind of my mental. Like, bro, you ain't bringing that shit to fuck around here. Like, yo, fuck that garbage. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yo.
So you figured out what a woman was, and you moved on to like to how you fucking sister wives, and then
to what crazy white women do.
Like I was telling,
why do women do the most insane shit? Because they're not
women.
Why do white women do it specifically? Because they're spoiled. They're raised on Disney to believe they're fucking princesses when they're not. They have no. We raise white girls in our culture to not have very many survival skills except for shack up with a man and drain all his fucking money out, and that's exactly what they grow up and do. And then we wonder who to blame when we're the fathers doing it and raising these girls this way.
Well, yeah, there's that, but like we kind of got on a level where like we were telling them all fucking stories about the terrible things that fucking white women do, right? You know what I mean? Like I was telling them a story about how like
bitches,
how,
man.
like, there was
I'll tell you, you gotta watch out for them.
Like I was like 14 when a female asked me to fuck her with a shotgun, right?
But
that's not a bad thing.
Did you though? Don't lie. Did you though?
Yes, I put the shotgun.
Okay,
in,
well,
right? and then
like you're like, yeah,
like, and then she was like loaded.
Yo, man, Tom, I don't think, man, maybe it's just because you never talked about this story with other men, but most of us here put the barrel of a firearm inside a vagina before.
Exactly. Like, don't
love that shit, especially a pistol.
Jesus Christ!
Put it under their chin for a second while you're fucking them, then pull out and like, they love that shit.
Y'all fucking kill me.
So look, there's two sides of this that we're looking at.
Are we still on some like YouTube forum or something? I hope not.
Listen to Southern Girl. She's coming just thinking about it.
It's like this. You've got chicks who are marriage material. You got chicks who are marriage material, and they're taken up normally by the time they're 25.
Okay,
tops.
but I'm just saying.
Everyone
like,
else is single, and that market is completely deranged.
Best year of my, I'm just saying, like back in the 90s, there were some good bitches, but now I don't know. But
I'm not so sure.
Right?
Back in the 90s, there were a bunch of bitches named Stephanie.
They weren't good. They weren't good. They were pressured into pretending
Jennifer
to be good.
and Tammy and Stacy
and Stephanie's and Nicole's. Yeah, there was a lot of them back then, wasn't there?
Yeah, those good girls in the 90s ended up divorce raping their husbands over time because the divorce stat has not gone down. The marriage has gone down.
They were grooming those men. Like
before I interrupt with the horrible mic quality again, I would like to have myself muted for around, I don't know, a minute or two so that I can try to figure out what's going on with my mic. Okay.
Do what you do, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know the deal. You know, by the way, fire out. It's my boy AP. AP, this is also Mountain. Mountain, he's a fucking cool guy. What about he has a fucking channel where he does like cartoons and shit, but it's like 3D animation type of shit. Like fucking I don't know.
I can't stand that shit. I mean,
no, it's kind of
I'm just kidding.
Like conversations around like a fire and shit. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you put a lot more effort into your shit than I do. Good for you. I drew something like 4 years ago, and I've just been making money off that same thing ever since. I could draw. I could draw something else. I could be something besides Adonis Paul, but it just feels so right.
I think
so.
Like I went through and I watched like your whole like fucking thing the other day, fucking like on your website on LasTejas.tv.com and shit, right?
Oh yeah. Which one did you watch, man?
All of them. I watched all of them.
Oh,
I went through and watched. Yeah, sat and watched all of them.
Damn.
Yeah, come on, man. Like yo, listen.
Honestly,
bro. I enjoy your content. You know what I mean?
I just need to start a YouTube channel already. I'm basically already there. Like.
Like why I'm bringing you over on mine. So like you like go, man. Listen, this shit ain't bad. You know what I mean?
Oh no, it definitely ain't. I'm just saying, like I need to start already. If I haven't formally started, so it basically is time for.
I feel you, right?
Okay.
So, anyway, so like we started off with like fucking, like the conversation of like a man, when we talk about a man, right? And we talk about like what a man is, right? It's like subjective, like what your culture is in like whatever geographic location you are, right? So like you have a lot of females who be like, man, that motherfucker's not a man, you know what I mean? Right? You have like a lot of dudes go, that motherfucker ain't really a man, you know what I'm saying? And
well, I mean, philosophically that may be true, but like when you get down to the brass tacks of sexuality, a man is somebody with the chromosomes and the build of a man with the genitalia of a man, and a woman is the exact same thing for a woman. And the argument that, well, what about intersex people? And I'm like, listen, man, I ain't trying to fuck a hermaphrodite either. Put them in whatever category.
Well, I mean, even if we were to talk about intersex people, we got to remember that they're not like actually like women with like dicks, you know. They're just more masculine women. Like they have more of a muscle or more muscle mass. Like I hate the whole like intersex argument because it implies that there is people that do not fit the gender norms.
It implies that that a statistical insignificance is worth changing all of society for, instead of asking these intersex people to understand
Are we talking about chicks with dicks? Is that what we're talking about?
But even then, these chicks do not have dicks. Like they're just more masculine built women.
I feel like
they have smaller breasts, bigger muscle mass.
Yeah,
like they're still women. They still have a vagina.
I mean,
like,
why do we even allow the conversation to happen when somebody starts questioning what a man or a woman is?
Well, because like we have to
laugh at.
Well, because it's the same argument why socialism has never really been experimented before. Because people are dumb and don't want to admit that they're wrong.
That wasn't really the gist of it. The gist of it was, what is the role of a man and how do you become a man? It's more like, what is our becoming?
Yeah, like, and I feel like, man, listen, yo, I wrenched them. Don't worry, man. They got wrenches now. We're good. I'm sorry, man. I didn't even know I didn't know Gilded Pooh didn't have a fucking, how the fuck does he not, how does Vlad not have a wrench in my fucking chat? Or Loki?
Because he's an asshole.
Here's something we need to remember about women that we don't always remember about women. Men are made. Women are born. When a woman becomes 18 and has sexual agency legally, she is armed with all the skills of a, quote, woman. She's got tits, she's got ass, she's got feminine qualities. They are just born women. And when they become 18, they just become a woman. A man is made.
Valuable.
A man is forged in fucking fire. A man is forged in
yeah, I was about to say, like,
they actually are.
Any man who is a man has stories of tragedy and pain.
Dude, like, you talk to most men. Most men will tell you they've been through actual fucking hell. Like,
this is why when I see bull dykes in line somewhere, I cut the fuck in front of them, right? You know what I mean? Because like, yo, you have to chin check motherfuckers because they haven't earned their stripes yet.
Tom, you're not in jail. You're not in jail anymore, man. You can't just be doing that shit to people. You're just knocking their sandwich on the floor.
No, you don't get it. You don't get it, man. Sometimes, like, Tom is a firm believer that sometimes a bitch needs to just know her place. Like, you know?
Well, I'm with a bitch knowing her place.
This is
for
why
sure.
I
I'm
might
just like, you ain't in jail anymore, Tom. You gotta change them.
Like, look. Just like you have to inform the new prisoners that you're top dog, you need to inform those little bitches that they don't run the world. Like, that's how it works.
He'd be walking in the subway, looking at people sitting down like so many sandwiches. Which one of y'all sandwiches I'm taking today?
If you ain't thinking like that, you're losing the war, like, straight up. like if you're not thinking about the inferiority of others, like, you're probably losing out, dude.
I'm sitting next to people on the train, like, something to a nigga, nice phone, and just takes it.
But like, damn straight though, that actually happened to me in Seattle. Like, I was just sitting on a fucking bus, and like some guy's just like, "Hey, nice phone." I'm like, "Yeah, thanks." And he tried to take it out of my fucking hands.
Look. Puerto Rican Day Festival is literally the chain snatching Olympics, right?
Oh, I know, right? Like, it is literally just theft hour.
Yeah, like legit. You go run snatch chains and take them to the pawn shop. That's the whole point of that fucking celebration. Like, there's no other reason for it.
If you don't use your elbow to just hit them upside the forehead, though, it's just not.
No,
look, a forehead only does so much, right?
With the elbow,
sometimes
you have to use the elbow.
when you see bull dyke somewhere, you literally just need to like fucking cut in front of them in line and let them know that they're not actually dudes. That's all I'm saying.
Or just rape them.
Oh
I mean,
God,
like, that's another way to go about it.
Right, Vlad, you're only coming in on one channel. I don't know if that's something you can fix or if that's something that is just going to be the case.
Yeah, you are literally only on the left side of the motherfucker.
Yeah, you might have to adjust your
settings. Like you're right in my ear trying to whisper some romantic shit.
It's all coming out of the left.
Oh,
I thought it was in my video game. That was weird.
All I gotta say is this stream has went to hell, and I love it.
oh no! Did
Like, yo,
it?
we used to have the Church of Jesus Christ is not a bitch made nigga out this motherfucker, right? But like, I mean, it technically is Sunday now. But
I referenced that on the show tonight. Actually, it was a black church where a lady got the spirit and started slapping the shit out of everybody. And I said, "This is just the Compton chapter." It was a black church, so I was like, "This is the Compton chapter of Tom P's Jesus, the Church of Jesus Christ, not a bitch made nigga." But I didn't have anywhere to send the people because you don't do the Church of Jesus Christ, not a bitch made nigga anymore.
Yeah, man, listen, like, yo, I'll be real, like, that church keeps getting me fucking strikes from YouTube and shit all the goddamn time.
Yeah, because you know,
put nigga
YouTube
in the name, Tom.
Yeah, look, because you know how YouTube is. You can't just say those things and expect the overlords at YouTube to accept that.
Yo,
this
look,
better?
man.
Look,
Yeah,
look.
they don't have a sense of humor.
Yeah, it's
right.
better.
I think we all need to inform the wonderful crowd here. Susan
Right.
Wojcicki, or whatever that bitch's name that runs YouTube, is an asshole and shouldn't be running this network. Just gonna say that.
Yeah,
Well, it's all about
Is
ESG
she
score.
really
You
running
realize.
I
So-
appreciate.
Okay,
I
ESG
appreciate it.
score is overrated though. Come
Yo,
on,
you
like,
think
you
she
know.
takes it up the butt?
Well, you know what the whole
Yeah,
thing
she
is
definitely
behind
does.
ESG,
She
right?
definitely does. But
I can
but
nail her.
she doesn't just take it up the butt. She gives it up the butt too, because you know she's
Wow.
fucking her husband with that
Yeah.
fucking dildo.
That's
She
modern
has a very
women.
strong jaw. You know what I mean?
Yo, I have a
She's got
question.
very
I have a question.
strong
I have a
jaw.
question for AP,
So-
right? Since
What up?
like AP's
Mhm.
AP's the only real YouTuber here other than me, right? I mean, Gil to
Sure.
be trying, you know what I mean? But like, you know, is what it is. Yo, would you fuck Susan Wojcicki to get a better fucking love in the algorithm and shit?
Who wouldn't? But
Would
I'm
I
sorry.
let
Sorry.
Susan Wojcicki put me in the algorithm?
But would you
Would
do
you
it with
no,
a
no, would
shotgun?
you fuck Susan Wojcicki to get a better spot in the algorithm?
No. No, I'm
No?
fine. I'm doing pretty good at the level I'm at. I'll just stay on this road where I'm not banging out lesbians and ruining my
But-
relationship.
But if you had a really tight ass though,
Look,
you wouldn't.
Look,
Come on.
straight
No.
up, if
Come on.
your YouTube,
Her head's
if
too
your
Her
long.
ass was really tight.
Her head
look, unless if your
You're
YouTube
not
channel.
She had the
saying you
same
would.
head shape as James
Don't
Clark.
tell
It
me
would
you
fuck
wouldn't.
me up.
Oh God, she
Don't
does
you-
though, dude. Susan Wojcicki is the ugliest lady on the planet. Like straight up,
Yeah.
she's the ugliest rich lady
Yeah.
out there. Like, how is she
okay.
a fucking business
And
owner?
I gotta have some specifics. Do I get to fuck her from behind while watching a movie
Oh,
on
yeah.
the back of her
Of
big ass head?
course, Of course.
No,
Like,
no,
you
no, no, no,
can't
no.
go on
You
this
have to
phone
look her
like
dead in her eyes. You have to look
No.
her
No.
dead in
Can't
her
do it.
eyes as
You
you
don't
fuck
have to
her.
look her in the
I'm
face.
just-
You have to
just
You
smell
never
the
look.
breath.
You never look
No.
a Jew in the eyes, man. That's a deal breaker right there.
Ooh.
That's
get
bad
to-
luck.
Damn.
The back of her head,
She
push her
curse.
fucking head down, back of the head, just yeah. No, you don't have to. look
No,
her in
that's
the
No,
cool.
face.
no.
I'm just gonna
No.
keep fucking my hot 27-year-old half Japanese
Exactly.
girlfriend.
That's
I'm
what
cool.
you do. Yeah.
yeah.
You just but you get to
Look,
you know.
look.
get to
You
enjoy it that
forget.
way.
Japanese girls are the
Oh,
best
nice.
fucking
Nice.
sex partners.
Nice.
They may have
nice.
small titties, but they're worth
Oh,
it
no.
in their
Well, mine's not
thighs.
Irish.
Oh, yeah.
She's got
They're-
big
they're-
titties too, so it all cool.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, she's the perfect lady.
I know.
She's the perfect lady.
That's why I keep her around. Yeah.
Yes,
We're
like I don't blame you.
This is a
Dude, that is-
degenerate stream.
I fucking
That's-
hate
Dude,
like I hate
dude,
women.
disavow-
we
You don't
did
get
it.
it.
disavow
I
this
don't
whole
like
stream.
women. So for me to keep one around means a
Disavow
lot.
this. I disavow
Okay,
this.
Southern girl. We are
Yeah.
talking about actual
Mhm.
sex intercourse and literally
Sure.
men and women. This was
Mhm.
going to become degenerate regardless. Like, let's be
Yeah.
honest.
I mean,
I just was here to answer the question what a woman
you
is.
Can't
I didn't know it was
surprise
gonna
me.
get degenerate.
You can talk to me how
Yo, it was already degenerate before you
It's
showed up.
Pinoid
Not
stream.
talk
Yeah,
to me.
it was
but you
pretty
can ask
bad.
me things.
When has Pinoid ever had an innocent, nice stream?
Used to all the time. Used to be whole
Dude,
streams about how
it's
Jesus Christ is
Pinoid.
the
I mean,
nigga.
I'm
Yo,
It's
literally,
Pinoid,
like,
man.
somebody was going through my channel the other day. Like they're like, what is this fucking video? Fucking doxing and scat porn. And I was like, man, listen, all right.
Oh
Like,
yeah, no,
god.
I'm not. I mean, I'm
Dude,
not
just
a
watch the
fucking
video
freak.
and it will say it all.
I just-
explain it.
Ask me whatever, dude. What?
Okay, you know what? No, I'll ask
What?
you. I'll ask
What do
you.
you want?
Why do you talk so much?
Because I'm a fucking loudmouth woman. Like,
Because
what-
she's
Okay,
a
that's-
Southern
then-
belle.
then,
Come
then
on.
can
What
Are
you,
you
the
the one
fuck?
that asked why I was like texting? And are you ad hoc?
No, I'm not ad hoc. Dude, my
Well,
name
I'm
is
a
literally
woman.
Fire
What
Al.
woman doesn't talk? You're asking me why I talk a lot?
Yes,
I'm a
I am.
fucking
Yeah,
woman,
I'm more
dude.
of a- I'm more or
Southern
less
woman
asking.
at that. Like, why would you ask me why I talk a lot?
She lives in a trailer, dude.
Because we all do. Technically, we're all.
Yeah, I mean, do you ask men that talk to you, or is it?
Yes, sometimes. Yes.
I'm just saying.
Dude, I ask Pinoy all the time why the fuck he's a freaking doomsday cultist.
Talker, man. I
am not a doomsday cultist.
Bro, you're very nihilistic though.
Tell that to the aluminum foil. Fuck.
Dude, he literally has the best Alex Jones voice though, like straight up.
Not just because
I'll tell you what, folks. Interdimensional space demons are out here spirit cooking children. Right, I got a documentation right here.
Really nice. It's a really good impression.
Dude, this is if there's one guy who's Alex Jones in the server, it's fucking.
Who is that?
That was Pinoy, dude.
Pinoy, really?
What are you talking about, folks? All right, I got a documentation right here. All right, they're going to stand here in the 2030. They're going to turn the apartment buildings upside down.
Oh my god!
Fill them up with water.
Hey, you're starting to make him sound black a little bit, though.
All right, they're going to turn the human beings into gay fish frogs. All right, I got the documentation right here, folks.
Yeah, now he just sounds like a black uncle out there at the barbecue talking that shit.
Yeah, but hey, but let's be honest. Let's be honest though. Is it really that different though?
Like Boys in the Hood.
Hold on, is it really that different though? Like both of them are just loudmouth older men who speak of like things that most people don't believe in, even though they're technically true.
All right, folks, I smell the sulfur.
He's not just racist. He sounds like him. It's
hey, wait, nobody said nigger yet.
I mean, come on.
You just did.
Whatever.
I mean, come on, man.
Who doesn't say nigger? I mean, come on.
AP never says nigger.
Yeah, most people say that shit because I'm not a racist.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, you know, usually when you imply racism, the first thing you don't say.
Well, I'll imply it all day long, but I typically don't just let the N-word fly online anymore.
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
Here's 2020
thing. You're either. Yeah, you're either.
That shit.
I was about to say you are. I was about to say you're either a racist because you are actually a racist, or you're just an asshole.
I'll tell you why I'm a racist, man. I'm a racist because the definition of racist has changed from somebody who hates black people to somebody who has mild street smarts.
I know. Jesus Christ, though, you are right. Dude, any fucking moderate belief is you're racist. You're a Nazi. You're crazy. It's like, oh, okay, I'm the crazy one, and yet I'm the one who believes that a fetus is some random parasite.
I ain't getting out. I ain't getting out in this neighborhood at 3 a.m. to go to the ATM next to 3 dudes all dressed in red. That ain't racist. I'm not being prejudiced. I just
no. That's just street smart. But dude, you got to understand the people who are calling you racist are the same people that believe that fetuses are parasites, dude. Like, come on. Like, you know, they don't rationalize shit. Hold on.
Children are parasites. I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
All they do is suck off of you for like
yo, man, my kid hit me up today. My kid hit me up today. Her birthday ain't for 2 motherfucking months, man. She hit me up today because her mom made the dumbass mistake of taking her to a pet store. And you can't take my child to no pet store. She got enough damn birds and shit. So as she turned the damn birds gay, she got 2 male birds sit in a room and fuck all the goddamn time like it's prison. She hits me up today, starts sweet talking me. She's like, "What's up, Daddy? I just wanted to talk to you. Hey, look at this bird I got. I'm in this bird shop. I got this bird. Look how cute it is and all this shit. Hey, by the way, this is all I want for my birthday." And I'm like, "All right, well, your birthday's in a couple months. So, you know, maybe that bird will be dead by then." And she's like, "No, they said they'll hold it for me, but I got to put down half the money for it today."
Damn.
And Mom said she don't have the money, so she said to call you. So now she put me on the spot. So you know what I did? I turned her on to my mom. I was like, "You need to call Nana. Nana might be able to hook you up." And she did. She got that $250 from my mom too. I said, "You got to shoot your shot. You got to know, like, don't call me up and tell me your mom told you to call, because now I definitely ain't gonna give you the money. But you wait for your birthday with me. I'm dad. But you call up your grandma, see if she'll be suckering enough for that shit." And she did. She suckered my mom.
I mean, come on. It's a grandma, dude. You know that their first objective is to be giving everything to their grandchild.
That's exactly why I told her to call my mom. I turned her on. When she said, "Do you think Nana would do it?" I was like, "Yeah, call her." Because the woman that I watch interact with my daughter ain't the woman I grew up with, and that pisses me off. Because like, no,
yeah, dude, every grandma though.
In my fucking world, there was no getting no goddamn $250 out of my mom. We could barely afford
dude, that's like every grandma though. Like you're raised by this woman, and you really realize straight up, like, dude, it's like they are the actual worst. But then become your grandchildren, they will do everything for them.
My mom wouldn't give me lunch money. Right.
Yeah.
And then she
ate
my
school lunches,
nonsense.
and now she's just throwing $250 down for a motherfucking parrot.
Parrot, dude, I guarantee you the moment I bring my grandkids to my mom, she's gonna be like straight up like giving them like PCs and shit. Like I'm gonna fucking hate my mom even more.
Yeah, that's why yo, my mom ain't even met my motherfucking kids and shit. Like, yo, fuck the bullshit.
Yeah, well, I mean, at that point, you already know you're gonna be pissed off with your mom at that point, right?
Nah, like, yo, my mom, she was like a fucking asshole, like fucking. So when I was younger, you know, what I mean, like I had 3 sons when I was like 25, right? I mean, like I had my third one when I was 25. So like I was like 28, 29, and like my mom would come and pick up my oldest son, and then leave the other ones. Right, and not deal with them. And I was like, nah, yo, we ain't doing this shit. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. You gotta have my kids over here, like, why grandma don't love me, daddy? Like, nah, fuck out of here with that fucking bullshit, bro. We ain't doing all that extracurricular nonsense. Like, yo, fuck the garbage. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta cut a motherfucker off. This is how it works.
Yeah, I did that with my mom. After my mom literally told me straight up, I hope you die out there, when I moved to Seattle, it basically just ended our relationship right then and there.
Well, like AP brought some shit up to me last night, had me fucked up and shit, fucking all goddamn night and all day today.
Oh, my bad, man. I didn't mean to fuck you up with that. I thought that was your case, though,
cool.
man.
Yo, it's cool, man. Listen, you know what I mean? Like, I used it to get some pussy today. Anyway, right? So, like, fucking, yo, I remember, like, when I went back to the motherfucking, or when I went to the courtroom and shit, and fucking, like, the judge, you know what I mean? He's like, you're going away, and fucking boom, bags a gavel or whatever. And they're taking me away in shackles. My mom smiles and motherfucking waves at me as I'm fucking walking away.
Bro, that bitch is evil.
Like,
my ex-wife did the same thing to me, man. Luckily, I got them charges dropped, but I've had a bitch fucking. She did a kiss face at me. One of those motherfuckers, dude. Oh, I swear to. It took everything I had to just keep fucking walking in handcuffs and not just go head first at the bitch, because she was within headbutt and reach. You know what I mean?
That was
the court is funny like that.
Dude, I think the craziest thing though is like I've always hated like women that do that, like literally just use you, right? And then like
the issue, right? You know what I mean? Like, yo, like I've always, like, the rule in my neck of the woods was like, yo, you never hand nobody a sword to harm your family, like, ever. Like, that's goddamn rule, right? But, like, you know what I mean? Like, women have no fucking problem like giving somebody a sword to motherfucking harm their people and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I quote you all the time on my show, man. When people start talking about what puts black men in jail, you know what puts more black men in jail than anything else?
Black women.
Black women.
Yeah,
So
no,
talking
dude,
about, like,
dude, like I will say this time and time again. The majority of child abuse comes from the mother.
Baltimore child support. Would you say, Vlad?
Are you guys talking about like child custody or like jail or some shit?
Child support for the most part.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
just
fucked.
women using the system to dick over guys and do things that they can't handle physically.
Women go from 0 to extortion. Yeah, women go from 0 to
the government ain't your papa.
2 seconds.
I mean, if you want to get evolution, like if you want to get scientific with it, there is a reason women are the way they are, and that's because they don't have the physical attributes that men have.
Yeah,
they've had to survive using cunning, and cunning is just another word for lying. It's in their culture.
Yeah,
other women will encourage them to lie because there's this weird sisterhood. And I'll give you an example of this sisterhood that ain't nobody here can deny. Every one of you knows a crazy bitch and has seen women encourage this crazy bitch, get on the fucking phone with her, put her on speaker next to their husband, look at the husband the whole time like, she is crazy as fuck, this crazy ass hoe, and then turn around and be like, you don't deserve that girl. They will never tell their friends the fucking truth. That is some kind of weird like, to a woman, what makes a good friend is not telling you when you're fucking up, not telling you the truth, patting your little ass even when you're fucking wrong. To a man, what a good friend is the opposite. We're taught a good friend is the one who'll spot check you right fucking there and tell you what a little bitch you're being. There's a huge difference in how we're raised.
Guys correct shit guys
because
have
the
initiative
be all
and the
for
ability
men
to correct
is
shit.
physicality. If somebody tells me the truth and I can't handle the truth, I hit that motherfucker with a and it's over in like 30 seconds, 45
Jesus
seconds.
Christ.
There's going to be one of us that comes out on top of that physicality. To women, they will go round and round forever. It's a verbal fucking war. We see this even with little girls. It is undeniable. Little girls are 1,000 times as vicious as little boys. Me and Tom P on the playground, we're going to come to blows if it gets too bad. Little girls will circle up in a circle, point at a girl in the middle and be like, ha, ha, your mom's dead. Ha, ha, your mom's dead. Ha, ha, your
Dude, they're
mom's dead.
vicious.
Every
Dude,
day.
I straight up, dude, I'm not,
bitch's life.
like, no joke, in high school, I had this girl that was like, this girl was just like the definition of just that like elementary school kid that just was like, I hate you because I think I'm better than you. No, like this was literally that chick, right? And one day I was just like, this happened right after like a massive event hit our school, right? So basically this girl pretty much just was like, this girl and I were in like a bit of a debate earlier. And then she fucking at the end, freaking like as we're walking to class, kicks me in the goddamn nuts. Dude, I was like, nope, you ain't gonna do that. By that point, if you get kicked in the fucking balls by a girl, it's all bets are off. That girl's a man. She realizes what she did, and she deserves what she gets.
Did you haymaker and
dude, I fucking body slammed her into a goddamn concrete wall.
Equal rights, equal fights.
Basically, if you're gonna kick me in the nuts, you deserve to be treated like a man.
Fuck yeah.
Well, it's equal rights, equal lefts. You know what I'm saying? That's where the fuck is at. You know what I mean?
What's funny is
guys, I gotta go to bed. Y'all take care.
Adios, amigo.
Right. Adios.
What's funny is like I had the
But
misfortune.
yeah, no, it's like I did not.
Hang on, man. Yo, Vlad's talking.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, I had the misfortune of dating some like fucking blue-haired SJW idiot years ago and got her pregnant. And she for all of those rantings about equality, she won't pay me the child support that the court ordered her to pay.
Yeah.
So
she won't go to jail either.
Nope.
Fuck that
Like
bitch.
no, she's $17,000 in the hole and has not paid a single cent.
Yeah.
Yo,
here's the crazy thing, right? Like after all like the child support shit that I went through, all the nonsense, whatever, right? Like I've never taken like my kids' mothers for fucking child support when I had the kids. You know what I mean? Like ever. I would never fucking do that shit. You know what I mean? I would never use the fucking system. I'm just I'm not built
Which
like
mom
that.
was it?
You know what I mean? Like I'm
Well,
literally
there's a really good reason I did it. Is because when I wasn't originally going to, until I found out she was like her on her end, instead of like, you know, her fighting for custody, she was trying to get me removed from having any rights to my kid at all. And so like the maximum I could go with it was going after for child support, because my thought was, fuck you, I'm going to do everything I can to get you arrested, and it's not working.
I got fucked over with some child support. Here's what I'd be doing now, man. Now that I got the money and shit, I pay that bitch about $200 to $300 extra, whatever I got in my account, every goddamn month, man. That way, this bitch, man. Now keep in mind, as far as the IRS will tell you, my income, my personal income hadn't changed. My business income is different, but this bitch ain't got no access to my business. They only got access to what I take home.
Nice.
So, my take home hasn't fucking changed, and I pay 2 sets of taxes to insure that shit. I'm my own boss, so I can make sure I know what I get paid. Now, here's the good part. Because I pay her every fucking month, she ain't gonna take me back to court to try to adjust that shit, which is a big inconvenience for me, because all it's gonna do is keep my child support the same, except I'm gonna remove that $300 extra a month that short-sighted bitch is getting. Now, here's the better part. I'm paying off because she's not taking me back to court to adjust it, because she's a short-sighted little hoe. I'm paying off my child support obligation early to the tune of $200 to $300 a month. So my kid's about 16 and a half. I'm going to be done with that shit, and this bitch going to be fucked. Now, my kid's always welcome to call me for money anytime she wants, but I'm going to be done paying for that hoe early, and there ain't going to be a goddamn thing.
Here's the bitch here. Like, if you send them extra money here, they send it back. Right?
They don't do that here. Here, they apply it to your case like you're paying off a car, homie.
No, dude. You can't pay much shit off early and shit.
That sucks.
Dude, straight up, like I really, this is like the exact reason
I got
why
a lawyer.
I'd rather adopt a kid.
That plan ain't, Tom, that plan ain't smart enough for me, dude. I had to hire a lawyer for that shit. He told me how to play this bitch, how to set up my taxes, how to set up my income, to get a bookkeeper to do it, to pay 2 sets of taxes, and to pay this bitch extra. That way, when she go to court, they look at her like, what the fuck you taking him to court for, you dumb bitch? They're automatically on my side. They're like, you stupid bitch. You just cut yourself out to the tune of like $4,000 a year.
Dude, like straight up, this is the exact reason why I don't freaking want to have like an actual kid. I'd rather just adopt a kid and raise it. Dude, no, like straight up though, like this whole child support bullshit, like white chicks are manipulative, dude. They'll fucking take your life away.
If you think white chicks are manipulative, try marrying or making a chick with a black, or making a kid with a black chick.
Oh, black chicks ain't better either. I'm just, dude. I'm just saying, dude. I'm just saying, dude. Like, dude, it's like, dude. My mom, my mom was the greatest example of like an actual white chick doing dirty. Right? She basically, dude. She literally took my literal money from me. Literally decided to say I believe me for dead.
Black chick, nah.
Oh, no,
here's the trick:
if
you're gonna fuck a black chick, make sure to fuck a black chick with warrants. That way she can't go to the clout.
Damn straight.
Wow.
It's like if you're gonna rape somebody, why don't you go out and rape a deaf bitch and just break her fingers? That way she can't tell nobody.
95 IQ instead of like 85 IQ is all I'm saying. Like at least.
And I'm just saying, if you're gonna rape a deaf chick, you got to break them hands so she can't tell nobody afterward.
Exactly.
Them cops can't make a report off. Blah, 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 blah. They can't do shit with that. You got to break them fingers. That American Sign Language.
Hold on. Just because they're deaf does not mean they can't speak. There are plenty of deaf.
You said that.
You never said
that. Yo.
You said that.
Are you fucking up my joke, man?
Okay, my bad, AP.
You thought that was some serious shit? You thought I was coming out?
No. You're right. I'm just.
Why you fucking up my joke, man?
Man, I'm sorry. Okay, Jesus. Sorry, I do that passionately, man. I ruin jokes passionately for some reason. I don't get it.
Nigga got passion for being a hater.
Yeah, you got passion for being autistic.
Oh man, but I mean both. But like, that's beside the point.
You meted my joke.
I did, and I hate myself now for it. I deserve to be lynched.
You should feel bad about yourself right now.
I do. I feel bad. I don't just feel bad. I don't feel bad about myself. I feel like I should just be like erased from society for being failing.
You ain't got to kill yourself or nothing, man. I'm just saying.
No, wait. Do you think you have to kill yourself to be erased from society? No, dude, that's ghosting, bro.
I mean, like, yo, look, if you're gonna do it though, you should do it on my show. So, like, fuck.
That's what I was gonna say. Damn it.
Yeah, clout, man. Yeah. Be the first ever actual freaking live stream where a person commits suicide.
It's not.
Yeah, you actually won't, but it's still cool.
No.
I'm saying, like, yo, we already did that on the cunt stream one time. AP was around for that, motherfucker. Remember, Running Gun came through looking for charity, and I may have ruined that.
Oh yeah. Did he kill himself?
I don't know. We haven't heard from him.
I mean, it made me like I'll never forget that because when Tom gave it to that motherfucker so bad, I went out the next day and cut my lawn.
Horrible.
Because he made me feel so bad just for sitting there doing nothing, even watching that stream because he was giving it to this broke ass, poor ass motherfucker. And finally, I hit him up the next day. I was like, "Nigga, you made me go mow my lawn." I was like, man, I feel like I'm being a worthless piece of shit right now.
Like,
straight up.
Yo, man. Like, yo, this dude legitimately, like, yo, he had kids and like he didn't have a fucking job and he was whining about his anxiety. And him and his wife slept in a bed and the kids were sleeping on the floor. Right. And I was like, yeah, nah, bro. Like, the fuck? What do you mean?
Making me sad.
Dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say this, but like, if you are literally going, like, dude, I literally, like, the only reason why I work is basically because Dom is around. Like, I put out 100% because if I don't, I know that Tom is just going to be like, fuck you, you failed. Like, because basically that's just it's the reality of it, right? But it goes even one step further.
My friends would make fun of me if I didn't, man.
But it goes even one step further, right? It's like, if you're a guy that's doing that, like, you're complaining about how you don't have a job and you're complaining about your anxiety and your kids are sleeping on the fucking floor, dude, I'm sorry. Dude,
that guy don't got no friends in his life. Where are his friends in his life to tell him what a bitch he is and make him feel like shit till he gets up off his ass and takes care of his fucking family?
Yeah,
where's his family and friends to do that shit?
You say that shit when you don't really feel like trying, but you want people to think that you are.
Yeah,
we know where that shit's at.
I could never see anyone in my life allowing me to live like that motherfucker, man. Like, they'd all be talking to me like Tom P.
Yeah.
Dude, like realistically, you're not gonna.
Anybody that knows me would immediately motherfucking dig in my ass like I was some piece of shit. Like, yo, fuck the garbage. You know what I mean? But
Tom was rough, dude. I don't think I've ever seen him be that rough. It was
No,
it was
it's
so
like,
bad.
dude,
Like, it sounds like a joke. I was listening to it the next day. I had to get up and go mow my motherfucker. That's before I had the ride mower.
Dude,
That's
I don't even make.
You made me work that day.
Dude, I don't even blame Tom for doing that, dude. Like, the guy fucking was letting his kids sleep on the floor. Like, think about that.
While he was in a bed.
While he was in a bed, like, fuck that guy. He deserves to be fucking ridiculed like that. I'm sorry,
I wasn't disagreeing with him, man. I'm just saying, man, he got it like a little kid was getting chewed out by his dad. It was funny to me.
I mean, dude, the fucking guy literally demeaned his own kids. Like, yeah,
I
of course.
I ain't never seen a grown man sit another grown man down to like chew him out. Like, I've seen like you know how your dad would sit you down to have a talk if your dad, if you had one. But
yeah,
like,
I've had a dad.
That's the way Tom sat this motherfucking down. Had somebody tried to talk to me like that, man, I wouldn't have had that conversation. I'd be like, look, fool, you ain't my fucking dad, all right? You're talking to me like this. I'm a grown ass man.
You ain't my daddy.
Yeah, like, but this guy just sat there, kept trying to explain himself too. And Tom's like, I ain't trying to hear that shit, man. Ain't nobody gives a fuck how you feel. Right? You ain't no kind of man. You don't take care of your family, and you make this a choice.
God damn.
Like the circumstances, some shit. Every day you wake up and you make the choice to be a lazy, worthless piece of shit.
Dude, warranted though.
What kind of goddamn man wakes up every morning and decides he's gonna be a lazy, worthless piece of shit? Then he started talking about, as I recall, he started talking about how men have to, and it made a lot of sense. Like, I never thought about it like this before. He started talking about how men have to have a purpose. A man has to have a motherfucking purpose in life. What's your purpose in life? It ain't to take care of your family, so what's your purpose in life? The guy didn't have no purpose. Tom zeroed in on this nigga's problem as a man and broke it. And I was sitting there thinking, like, what's my purpose in life? Shit, I don't know. I better go cut the grass or something.
Dude, I'm only 24 and I already know what my purpose in life is. It's just to help people. That's it. It's a basic purpose.
No purpose in life, man. Your purpose in life needs to be to bitches and money is a purpose in life. Helping people.
Damn, man. I mean, true,
also,
but like,
who's gonna come help you, man? Who's trying to help you right now?
Oh, I don't give a shit if people help me or not.
It doesn't matter. You see, that's something that Reagan talked about, and it's true that's been lost in our culture. It's all about the bling bling and that kind of bullshit.
Sometimes we just need to be selfless and actually go and help others.
I didn't choose what cards I was dealt and what year I was born in and what year I had to be a man in, dude. I'm just telling you, dude. Like, I am living not for myself, but for others. The world needs people like you, but a motherfucker like AP don't do shit for the homies and don't do shit.
Damn. Unless that homie wants to walk that stroll and get that money.
Yes.
I ain't got shit for a homie.
No, a pimp named AP will put a lot of things over a hoe. A new pair of gators? Oh, for sure. A turkey sandwich with an olive on top? You damn right.
Just a little bit of mayonnaise.
Homies over hoes is not a sentiment that a pimp named AP can co-sign.
Yeah,
one person got it. That was enough for me.
No, that was good.
I believe in service as well, and I believe in leaving someplace better, and you found it, and doing things for the sake of doing them, not to be taken advantage by fucking assholes.
Oh no, of course. Like, I'm not going to be taken advantage by the fucking scum of the earth, but I'm definitely not going to sit back and leave people to die.
Me and mine, and that's all that matters.
Like, I'll be real. Yeah, Phil, I try to help out my neighbors and shit, right? You know what I'm saying?
No, that's
and, like, I went through.
That's your true duty as a man.
I bought my neighbor. Listen. I bought my neighbor a new clutch for his chainsaw and put it back together and cleaned it all up for him. You know what I'm saying? And, like, motherfucking got that bitch running and went through and like helped him clean out his fucking yard so like the goddamn fucking township don't find him and take away his fucking home and shit. Right. And then I found myself spending an entire weekend like burning up all of his motherfucking trees and branches and shit. And working my dick off to take care of this motherfucker. And this motherfucker's sitting in his motherfucking house asleep, not helping the motherfucker out. I felt
not
some sort
a
of
goddamn thing for the homies,
dude.
Tom P. I hope you learned your lesson.
If my neighbors, all two of them, if their houses burned to the ground, I'd be the first one there with hot dogs and sticks. All right,
real shit.
Like seriously, I don't give a shit.
You, my friend.
I don't know, dude. I'm always been that person. I've always been that person where it's like, dude, if there's a guy literally dying on the sidewalk and I don't know them, I will do everything in my power to keep them alive.
Well, like,
When
yo,
the
I
other-
have a neighbor.
If
Go ahead, Black.
Oh, I was just saying, like, I was agreeing with AP. Like, my main philosophy in life is me and mine. So, like, if it's not me or it's not something I claim, like family, friends, or what have you, I don't give a shit. Right outside of that, my neighbors are all strangers to me. I don't even give a fuck if you're related to me. All right, like if you're some distant cousin thrice removed, I don't give a fuck. You could die in a horrible fucking plane crash in Jamaica. All right, I don't give a fuck about. I don't know you. Right? So, like, you know, that's the thing. Like, I don't give a shit about my fucking neighbors. They're not gonna give a shit about me. If my house was burning to the fucking ground, they wouldn't do so much as call 911. They'd get out their fucking cameras and start recording, right? Like, this is society we live in.
My neighbor's an EMT and a fireman. Right?
My neighbor
Now,
sells me weed, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna be cool with him. But there are some of them I don't like.
I mean, no. Like my one neighbor, you know what I'm saying? Like a dude I helped out, he's an EMT and a motherfucking firefighter, right? A volunteer firefighter. Doesn't get paid to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I ain't got no problem helping that motherfucker out, right? Now, I have a neighbor on the other side who, honest to God, like, you know what I mean? If I could help, like, him kick the bucket, I would probably do it. You know what I mean? Because, like, yo, this motherfucker here legitimately, like, yo, he told my fucking 4 and 5-year-old, or my 3 and my 5-year-old now, fucking that, like, he looked at me one day, he fucking came over one day, he goes, keep your fucking kids out of my fucking yard, right? And I'm like, yo, they're 3 and 5. Yeah. Like, what? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it's not even like you own that piece of ground. It's like you're not even renting that piece of ground. Like, yo, it's owned by
Nigga,
the
that's your mom's
cemetery.
house, man. You better send your mama over here to come talk to me.
Like, yo, nah, but like this motherfucker's like, he's a fucking boomer and he's old and all he cares about is his fucking cats, right? You know what I mean? And like, legitimately, I'm debating on taking my 22 out and just motherfucking cleaning his cats the fuck out of his backyard. One for all these fucking white chicks passing these laws about animal cruelty and shit. Used to be you could just clip a fucking cat in your backyard and get it the fuck done with. But this motherfucking piece of shit, God, yo, fucking hate that mother. Yo, fuck that guy.
Hey, all I gotta tell you is this, Tom. The cat goes on his lawn or goes on your lawn. It's yours to deal with.
No,
that's it.
Look, you described all my neighbors. Like that's
I hate boomers.
Obnoxious boomers. That's all my neighbors. Like one is
sounds
some
like
old bitch that has like a fucking sewing business. All right, and she's like the biggest obnoxious cunt on the planet. And like, so you know those people that are like really anal about their lawns, you know, like they go and they mow, right? And that's fine. And then they mow over it again, and then again, and then again, and like 8 times in a row over the exact same spots over and over, like hyper fucking anal, and everything's got to be pristine, clean, and shit. Like that's them.
Yeah, I hate
crazy.
boomers. I hate boomers with a goddamn passion. They're the most fucking worthless fucking generation of people who have ever lived in the history of mankind, and I cannot wait for them all to fucking die. Legit.
Oh, dude, when they fucking die, the housing market, the whole freaking economy will flourish.
Maybe.
I just want the Senate to change generation. That's all.
Like, I'm telling you right now, when the boomers die, the economy will flourish because for fucking once there will actually be homes available.
Maybe. That depends.
Yo, man.
You got a lot of private.
I just realized I was sitting here with you.
Shit.
You could probably help me out with some real life advice I need here, man. Now, see, I live by the code of a bitch got to join your world. You don't go join no bitch's world, right? But I can pick up my job and go where the fuck I want to go, right? So, like, it's time for me and Leaf to, like, cohabitate in the same goddamn place. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's time for us to be in the same fucking place. Now, she was talking about trying to move down here to Texas, right? But I feel like at her age and shit, you know what I mean? Like, you could move down here and things could go bad real, like, things could go bad. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be ruining her motherfucking life bringing her down here, man. Maybe what if she can't handle America? She's all sweet and innocent and shit. Come down to America, start having to meet black people. She ain't ready for that shit. You can't introduce people to black people for the first time at 27 years old. Not American black people. They'll fuck her up. So I was thinking, man, like, I can pick up and go anywhere I goddamn want. Not going to afford to travel back to Texas whenever I need to. So I was thinking, man, about picking up and going trying Canada out for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Just like on a trial basis, 6 months stay, no more than that, or I'll be an illegal alien. Like, you know, I wouldn't like. What do you think about that, man?
Why don't you?
If you go to Canada, I think what you should do is like go to like northern Michigan and then like bring her to northern Michigan.
Bullshit,
Right.
bullshit,
So
dude.
you-
Always go to a different country, experience new things. Like,
No, I would never live in Canada. Like
Canada's
I
not that different.
No,
Canada's
not-
going
not-
down
You
the
can't
shitter
even
right now.
own handguns there anymore.
That's the thing, man. Is like I feel
They're going
like
through some shit.
I've been surrounded by that. That is a concern, though. It sounds dumb, but I've been surrounded by firearms so extensively my entire life. Like, I would feel a little bit exposed. Like, it's kind of like a novelty on vacation, not being able to carry. But I usually carry.
I'm
I get a
assuming-
little bit exposed
wait, you
not
said
having
you're
a gun.
Are you still in Texas, or are you like still like?
I'm still in Texas. Yeah,
What part?
a part of Texas.
Okay, well, I'm in Austin.
Oh, okay.
If you come, okay, well, fuck you. I'm gonna be leaving Austin
That
hopefully
immediately
sometime
tells
soon.
you I grew up in Houston because I'm an asshole.
Okay, of course, I will give you that, but I'm not from Austin originally.
Yeah, that's what they all say when they move.
He's from
I live in
Missouri.
Missouri.
Right.
Okay, well, fuck Missouri.
Right.
From
We have
Austin
better
saying
gun laws
fuck
in
Missouri.
Texas.
nigga.
No, dude. I'm from I'm from Stillwater, Oklahoma
Oh,
originally.
you got hippies on a stream, man. I thought you didn't like hippies, Tom P. This
No,
motherfucker's awesome.
dude. I'm legitimately from originally Stillwater, Oklahoma.
See how he got to talk over me like that, man? Because he didn't want me telling everybody he a hippie.
No, I ain't.
Give it to him. Right, yo. I give it to him on a regular basis. Right.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of.
I'm just fucking with you. You know how it is, dude. And you live in Austin. You're gonna hear that shit from anybody who lives.
Oh, I
in the
know.
area.
I already hate the
He's
Austinites.
working in Austin right now. Fuck, he's with a security company. He goes from like gig to gig and shit. Fucking like.
Basically, I'm only here until the skate's up.
Yeah, but
I'm
see,
gonna
the
try
thing
to-
is, Tom, like for me to move my ass to like North Dakota, I got to like sign a lease somewhere in North Dakota. Like I got to go live in North Dakota. I
Yeah.
can take with a couple of with some changes of clothes, with enough changes of clothes, the computer, I can move to Canada and stay there for 6 months like it wasn't shit. I would still
Like her house.
yeah, like I wouldn't have to. I mean, we would probably end up getting a place, but it would be like I wouldn't be on the lease because I'm an illegal alien. You ain't gonna rent. You can't rent. Just go to Canada and rent shit as an American.
Well, here's the mental though, right? Like you can go to like a place like North Dakota and like rent a place for like $400 a month and shit.
Yo, I've looked at it, man. It ain't like that. Unless I'm trying to stay in a room.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
no, it's a bit more expensive than $400.
No. Yo, North Dakota is literally
Dude, there's only like a handful of states that are like still that cheap, and they're
No,
like
real shit,
also.
real shit. I looked in North Dakota. I looked into northern Minnesota, North Dakota, places like that. Because my first, I don't want to leave America for any amount of time. But I don't know, man. Like, I feel like it's shit or get off the pot time. You know what I mean? So, because I ain't trying to be in no like internet relationship for years on end. So, but I also feel like I ain't trying to ruin her life. And coming down to South Texas might ruin her life. Like she ain't ready for this shit. She ain't built
Well,
for this
yeah,
shit.
Houston's a bit of a culture shock, I would say.
Well,
Yeah,
I was
a
gonna
bit.
say like maybe the culture shock would be good.
Yo,
but
there's places in Fargo for like $350 a month.
Yeah. I was gonna say
But,
Fargo's pretty
no,
good. I got a
Clyde,
buddy who lives out there.
But
no one
like
lives
with all due respect, yeah, it's Fargo. Yeah, it's fucking North Dakota. Why would anyone want to live there?
Yeah, but she got to sign a lease any damn way somewhere. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, true.
no, but I mean, no, she do because it's that time to go move in and get an apartment, find a lease. She's got to leave the place she's in. And
No. Like, yo, just consider exploring, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, fucking, like, y'all are just, you know what I mean? Like, spending a little bit of time on fucking just walking, moving around, checking some shit out. And like, she's experiencing America, you know what I mean? You're, you know what I mean? Like, experiencing her, right? And like, like, it is what it is. Right, you don't have to fucking stand here and like say this is permanent. You know what I mean? You just hang out for 6 months, whatever. Fucking get a $350 a month fucking studio apartment in Fargo, North Dakota. So you don't have to work. You make money. You fucking move wherever the fuck you want to move to.
If rent's what you're talking about in Fargo, yeah,
I agree though with I agree with freaking AP on this one. Like I just do not see a Canadian in Texas at all.
The bigger thing is like that way she's signing a lease somewhere in her place and where she live. I'm signing a lease in North Dakota. Now I'm tied down. I'm moved to North Dakota. Now the way it is right now, I got a homie who my house is closer than his house than where he's staying right now, where he ain't got a lease at. He can just bounce into my house, pay me $500 a month to live up in my house. He ain't gonna get rent around here no for a house. no better than
Yeah,
that.
no, dude, Texas housing is really cheap.
And I can just
like,
let that motherfucker live here for 4 or 5 months while I just hang out in Canada and like all my day job shit, you know, that's all on the computer. And then the show and all that, clearly that's just on the computer. That's another form of income. So like I can pick up and move my job where the fuck ever. But for her to come down here, she can't work when she get here,
dude.
Man. She ain't illegal.
Well, dude, it's like
she ain't illegal, but she ain't got no visa. You know what I mean? And I
well,
don't
dude,
it's I don't want her working in no schools around
Texas.
here either, man.
Dude, it's Texas.
Slow down, Austin. I'm talking to Tom P right quick.
Oh, goddamn.
I'm not trying to be mean or nothing. I'm just saying slow down a little bit.
That nigga real quick. Hold on, I'm muted real quick. Right, but I'm saying like, yo, she can get a fucking work visa for like nothing. You know what I mean?
Not really.
Hell,
Canada's very strict with the work visas to the U.S.
Man, listen, no, they're not. All right, yo, look,
I already looked into it,
can
bro.
fucking give her. You can give her a work visa.
Yeah, but I got to give her like a ring to do that.
No, you don't.
No,
you
as
can
an
give her a
employer.
work visa with your business.
Oh,
You
that's
can
true.
sponsor.
I guess I can, but then I got to pay her.
Yeah, I mean,
And
like
if I've got to pay a woman who I'm sleeping with, I'm just gonna pay a woman to sleep with her.
Well, that's pretty much your job. Write it up in the description.
Yo, look, I'll be honest with you.
Go to the
It's been
website.
3.5
Look at
hours
the
I've
new
been doing this.
criteria.
You know what I mean? I would love to continue to have this conversation, but I'm hearing my daughters awake at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning, and I need to go deal with them. Right? Yeah, yeah. I gotta
thought it was
go do the
mine.
dad
Shit.
thing.
Well, all right, then, player. Well, I'm gonna bounce out, man. I don't like to be the last nigga out the door, man. It makes me feel like
I feel you.
like something's
But
wrong.
like, yo,
with me.
look, man, I want to thank
peace out,
everybody for coming out. Thank everybody for coming on. I love y'all, motherfuckers. Thank y'all very much. Fire out, you know the deal. I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Vlad, Mountain, goddamn.
Have a good night.
All y'all motherfuckers who came out tonight. It's appreciated. Florida, man. Holla at y'all. I'll talk to y'all motherfuckers later. I got to get out of here. I got to fucking.